they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball, I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say, I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life, I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitted for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this, go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger. Hey, please don't play no games with me, I promise I'm too much. Hey, I can never let up even if you had enough. Hey, this ain't for the faint of heart, we always playing rough. I had enough, it ain't luck. I needed a vision, I needed ambition, I needed a mission to beat this submission with no intermission. I see the collision, the crash in the distance, they coming off track, no. Now when they ask what's the motive, don't talk like the show. They all about to see what I mean in the moment. I gotta keep going, I'm shaking the dice and I'm keeping it rolling, they already know. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger.
Early afternoon, good morning to everybody in the building. Salute. One more game. Bring it back one more game. Bring it back one more again. Salute to everybody in the building, man. It is Tuesday. No, it's not Tuesday. It's Thursday. What the hell are we talking about? It's Thursday. We passed hump day. Towards the end of the week, it is fight week. Of course, we got to talk about the fights. But today's show is going to be, listen, I decided to sidebar off of the algorithm a little bit, man. We need to talk about the building up of these fights, man. There's fights we want to see. The year is rolling out. I wanted more, guys. I wanted more from the rollout this year. Not about the fights in particular, but certain things, right? With Top Rank, I wanted them to announce where that January 31st event with Xander Zayas and Abbas Baharu was going to be. Where do we watch that? Tubi, where's it going to be at? I don't know. Devin HANEY seems to be struggling to make these fights happen right now in the welterweight division. The welterweight division seems primed to do something and to bubble and be up and coming back to being the division it maybe used to be. But there's a holdup, obviously. Fights aren't being made. Fighters are probably pricing themselves out of these fights, and we got to talk about it, right? Because in boxing, it's one of two things for me personally. It's either the big fights that need to be made or the buildup to the fights that need to be made. And it seems like we're crashing a little bit. Those two things are crashing into each other a little bit on the fights, the big fights that need to be made versus, the buildup for the fights that need to be made. And what do the stars like a Devin HANEY or Shakur Stevenson or Teofimo Lopez or Gervonta Tank Davis, what do these guys do in the midst of trying to get in the biggest fights possible, but not having the dance partners available in the capacity they need them available at? Right? The capacity. In other words, are you building your brand up? Are you becoming a popular enough fighter? Is it making sense for me as a fighter who's built myself up to be the star that I am to get in the ring with you, even though your skills say we should be in the ring with each other? But, are we going to sell tickets? Are we going to sell pay-per-views, right? How many asses in seats? Are people really screaming? Are boxing fans really screaming and ready to support the way they need to support in order to make this fight make sense, which in layman terms means make dollars in order for me to get in the ring with you, right? We got to talk about all that stuff today. There's also a lot of trending news going in the space. Tyson Fury is doing what he does. He's back in the space, talking it up as if he's going to return. Probably looking for a big payday as well. Who's the fight going to be against? Alexander Usyk has already put out intentions on potentially fighting Deontay Wilder. And we've already seen these guys fight 3 times, ladies and gentlemen, right? 3 times. So at this, what is it, twice or 3 times? Is it twice? Sorry, I might be wrong. It might be twice. I got to do my math, man. I don't know. My math don't be mathing sometimes. Excuse me. But they fought at least twice already. And I don't think anybody's screaming for that fight. Not to mention Alexander Usyk has moved away from Turkey Al-Sheikh right now for at least a temporary moment. I'm sure it's no bad blood there, but he's moved on from the Riyadh season promotional platform, and he's moving on to other potentially greener pastures, I guess, for him, as he's trying to put together fights on his way out the door. His last 1 to 2 to 3 fights that he may have that he wants to get involved with, he's going to move in that direction, right? And of course, we got the big card coming up with Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson at the end of the month. But I guess the big one right now that everybody's got to be talking about is got to be Subriel Matias versus Dalton Smith. That fight right there, potential fight of the year candidate written all over it, just stylistically speaking. But for some reason, what I'm hearing is the tickets aren't selling like they should be selling. And people are complaining about the pay-per-view number, the model that's been put around this fight. So are people not going to watch this fight? Is the viewership going to be low? And what a tragedy that would be for Dalton Smith or even a Subriel Matias, who, both these guys got to be trying to build their brand up, being that they're in a division right now. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez are about to fight. Championship fight between Subriel Matias and Dalton Smith. You'd want to believe that they're trying to build up their brand in order to be involved in making some big fights. Richardson Hitchins is in that division. KEYSHAWN Davis will be fighting against Jermaine Ortiz, also representing that division. And how is that helping to build up the brand of these fighters, right? And what does that mean for the next step after these fights? We got to talk about all those things, right? And more. Salute to everybody who's in the building right now. Salute to Flyer Frequency, Ma'aki in the building. Salute me to salams. Walaikum salam. Rahmatullah barakatuh to my boy Flyer Frequency, flexing and stepping in the building. Says my boy Clay, what up, player? What up, fam? AK Crowder with the spiritual super chat. Screaming out the blessings to brother Claymore. I appreciate you. Blessings back at you, King. Shout out to the Queen, the spiritual ministry in the building. Says, hey, Clay, what's good? What's good, Queen? Ray Davis says he'll be up here a little bit later. Shout out at Kaizu953 saying, year starting great. Let's see who's going to put pen to paper. Salute, chat, and Clay. That's what it's all about. Kaizu, it's all about pen to paper. It's all about pen to paper, right? Let's be honest. That's what it's all about. It's all about the contracts, sign the contracts, make the fight, put on the fight, right? We're watching a lot of potential big fights in the midst of negotiations, but no pen to paper yet. What's going on with Virgil Ortiz and Jerron Boots Ennis? What's happening with Devin Haney and Lewis Crocker, right? What's going on with Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios at this point? That should be, you would have thought would have been announced by now. We're hearing about undercard fights, potential undercard fights on that card, but we're not hearing about the actual announcement of the card, right? Or even the press conference being announced. It is what it is. Shout out to Flexing and Stepping. Joe Johnson in the building says, what's good, family? What's good, Joe Johnson? What's good with you? Let me see, scrolling down here. Trini BX in the building. What's good, Trini? Says, salute, Clay, Ray. What up, champ? Salute, champ. Salute to everybody in the building. CJ Rich Boxing in the building says, Wagwan, champ. Wagwan, Wagwan. You know what I mean? And of course, my guy Angelo Reyes says, salute, salute, salute. Everybody giving you guys the best instructions, which is to hit the like button as you step into the building. Subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to it yet, we're on our way to 3,000 subscribers. We're about 49, something like that, subscribers away from that number. So let's go ahead and hit that number. Before we kick it off and do our thing, let me go ahead and bring up the usual suspect, America's Most Wanted. You guys know him as Mr. I Told You So. Mr. I'll keep telling you guys what's going to happen, and you guys stop believing me. Mr. Number One, America's Most Hated. But we just know him here as Reyes Boxing, man. Shout out to Reyes Boxing in the building. What's good, Angelo?
Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
If
Good
you're in
morning,
the West,
good morning, good morning.
yeah, if you're in the West Coast, then it's brunch time, and if you're in the East Coast, then your day's almost done. If you're in the East Coast, so
Yeah, we about
know,
ready to close it up, man. We about to have lunch, you know what I mean? And going to dinner and all
yeah,
that type of stuff. You just waking up, just having your first
yeah,
cup of coffee.
yeah. That's right. That's right. Exciting times, definitely. This week, you got Terrence Crawford here in Vegas. Shakur's training there at the PI and stuff, and lot of different things that I can't really speak on quite yet because damn it, they're not making the announcements. But you all know Zuffa Boxing's coming out on the 23rd. They at least made that announcement.
They're definitely at the top of the news too, right? Zuffa Boxing is definitely floating there at the top of the news.
Right.
People are complaining. They're upset. They're saying, hey, man, this event is supposed to be big. You guys try to make it sound like it was going to be a big deal. And now it's going to be in the Apex, 500 somewhat people involved in as far as the audience is concerned. What kind of nonsense, diabolical foolery are we dealing with here with you guys? Are we amateurs or not? I don't know. I think people, like I said, and even when you talked about Zuffa, even with the way, because you're passionate about it, you love what the possibilities are on the back end of this rolling out correctly, and the opportunities that this platform is going to open up for prospects coming up in the game and getting a chance to get in front of huge studio audiences. But people don't understand that there's steps. One foot in front of the other foot, right? One foot in front of the other foot, one step at a time. And you don't just jump in to the frying pan. We don't just jump in. Zuffa Boxing doesn't just jump in and roll out 15 to 30,000 people inside of a building screaming in anticipation for a card, for their first card, right?
Right. Well, first of all, for the ones who are writing these articles or saying this all, oh, what a disappointment and whatnot, you might want to stay in your own lane because tickets aren't selling for Dalton Smith and Subriel Matias. And when you and I have had this conversation, the fact that that's a pay-per-view, first of all, I will be shocked if they get 50,000 people to even buy the pay-per-view. There's going to be, I'm sure there'll be enough Pirates Life for me that it'll get watched. But in terms of pay-per-view, man, they're not going to, I mean, I'll be shocked if they even get to 50,000, Secondly, you're competing against the NFL wildcard playoff weekend. Man, stop yourself. Stop it. All right. You got two non-American fighters, right? In Subriel Matias from Puerto Rico and Dalton Smith in the UK, fighting in New York City on NFL playoff weekend. And you put it on pay-per-view?
100%. 100%.
Man, y'all done lost your minds. So before you start calling the kettle black, you might want to fix what's on your side. Now, let me address the Zuffa Boxing thing. Zuffa Boxing didn't promise you guys like all these main fights. That's you for you guys who are complaining. Not once did I hear Zuffa Boxing say, "Oh, we're gonna have like the main top guys." They just said they want to go ahead and reformat and rechange the way America looks at boxing. And let me explain to you how they're doing that. You see, the biggest event happening in Vegas on January 24th is not Murataya versus Andy Cruz, which is, by the way, happening here. It's happening at the Fontainebleau, right? Boxing hardcores are excited about it. The Fontainebleau, I think, seats 1,000 people, though, because I was there. Okay? Like 1,000. Going to be a good show. Going to be a great card because you're going to have the return of Israel Madrimov.
Right.
Amari Jones is going to be. I mean, like, for us, boxing hardcores, great card. Unfortunately, they're on the same weekend, the same night, the same city as UFC 324 and Claymore. You could ask your brother.
I already know.
T-Mobile Arena is going to be sold out, over 25,000 seats. Everybody's coming here to see the return of the greatest female fighter, if not maybe one of the greatest fighters we've ever seen in the UFC, in Amanda Nunes against the American two-time gold medalist from judo, Kayla Harrison. Right? Want to talk about all-American action, blood and guts? You got Justin Gaethje, bro, fighting Paddy Pimblett from Ireland, who's trying to be the next Conor McGregor. Just those two headlines alone would have been.
It's gonna be a huge event. It's gonna be a huge event.
Now here's the part. It's free. It's free, Clay.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus, because you're watching Landman, Tulsa King, whatever, Mayors of Kingstown, whatever you're into, it's already included. So I say this to say, and I'll let you go on this, Clay. Zuffa Boxing's audience isn't the hardcore fans complaining about it. Their audience is everybody who's watching Landman and Tulsa King and the NFL.
Yeah.
That's
TV pretty
much.
People who watch TV shows will catch those fights. And like I said, let's be honest, right? Let's have a moment of honesty and clarity about what this is all about. Obviously, the boxing space, hardcore, casual alike, whatever it is, the boxing space as we know it, 9 out of 10 of the people here in this chat are watching this and they're comparing it to what boxing actually is, and they're anticipating what boxing is going to look like with Zuffa Boxing. And they're like, listen, man, a whole lot of talking when people like me and you get up on here and we talk so positively about what they're going to do, the impact, they're looking to debunk us, right? They want this first event to roll out and completely check all the boxes on everything we've been talking about all this time. And if it doesn't do exactly that, then it's a failure. We was blowing a lot of smoke up a lot of people's rear ends, and this thing is not going to work because according to the consensus, it's not that easy. You don't just walk up into this space right here that's been going on for 50 plus 100 years worth of boxing promotions with the competing with the likes of the Don Kings and the Bob Arums and the Al Haymans, right? And all the promoters, the Oscar De La Hoyas who've been doing this for years. To think the arrogance that somebody's going to come from the outside and just because they have a lot of money come and just take over this sport. It's easier said than done. And to that I say, that's what's up. Listen, man, the scrutiny is going to be there, but don't get it twisted. It's one foot in front of the other. There's a way to do this. The people behind this aren't only coming in with a lot of money, but they're coming in with a lot of experience on rolling out sports entertainment and getting it and growing it. So it's not going to be done recklessly. It's going to be done in an organized way. Every move is going to be strategic. Every move is going to be purposeful. It's going to have a narrative behind. It's going to have an agenda behind every single move, just like a chessboard. And ultimately, like somebody said in the chat, we'll see what happens in the coming months, years, and we'll see what ends up happening with Zuffa Boxing. But look, regular boxing, as you stated, still happening. Subriel Matias versus Dalton Smith. And like you said, still rumblings in the street. Where are the ticket sales? You put a pay-per-view number on this fight. Nobody is... I mean, I think the pay-per-view is ridiculous. I didn't even know it was going to be a pay-per-view until recently, finding out that they're going to put a price number on this and have people pay for a pay-per-view to fight. Let's be honest. Subriel Matias, who's an undercard fighter, never headlined really anything big and worth talking about. And Dalton Smith, somebody who's unknown in America. Even though this is going to be happening in Madison Square Garden, how do the fighters benefit off of fighting on a card like this? Who's coming out? How's this bigging up their brand when there's not going to be any eyes on this fight, Reyes? How does this help these guys?
And that's been the issue, right? That's been the issue on the slow death, as they oftentimes say in mainstream news. The slow death of boxing in America is because of the very thing that we're watching with Dalton Smith and Subriel Matias, two top-notch fighters who are fighting on pay-per-view with not a lot of advertisements, right, Claymore? And they're competing against America's sport, which is the NFL playoff weekend, right? So whoever the genius was that thought it was a good idea to do this on playoff weekend and make it a pay-per-view, not a very smart move. Now, I say that also to say this. When you guys are paying attention to stats, please pay attention to what the viewership count's going to be for the Agit Kabayel fight that's going to be happening on DAZN. I subscribe to DAZN. Most of you guys have DAZN. Because on that side of the world, that'll be important. It's a heavyweight fight, and that's in the daytime. But then you couple that to the non-accessibility of Dalton Smith versus Subriel Matias. A lot of people are going to do Pirates Life or just catch it on the replay after they watch the NFL. So in terms of live viewership, not going to be a lot. And I'm going to go out on a limb right now, Clay, and say, I think the Zuffa Boxing January 23rd on Paramount Plus is probably going to get more live viewership. And for anyone in the chat who wants to challenge me, I just throw with you this idea. You see, they already have a fan base. It's called the UFC fan base. And the UFC fan base are the ones that are going to be tuning in on Paramount Plus to watch the boxing. Not all of them, but some of them will be curious because they want to support the company and they want to support Dana White. And, you know, there's no college football, I think, on that Friday. So I think, I'm not sure yet. But if there is college football on January 23rd, then everybody's going to be watching college football. Having said all of that, any January fight cards happening needed to be strategically put correctly to, especially if we're talking about the American space, to navigate around the NFL and college football. So if you're not a part of either, or you're somehow competing against one or both of those, you're screwed, man. And how does this help Dalton Smith? Does it? How does this help Subriel Matias? It doesn't. All this is Dalton Smith coming into town. Us in the boxing space who know what we're looking at, we can have a nice, respectful debate on Subriel Matias versus Dalton Smith. At the end of the day, Clay, I have been very vocal in saying that not only will Dalton Smith beat Subriel Matias, it might be one of the worst beatings you guys see. Because this is the same thing I said about Hamza Shiraz versus Edgar Berlanga, and the people who pushed back on me and was like, well, who has Shiraz fought? The people move different in the UK, Clay. They just move different, man. And the eye test tells me that this young bull is about to hurt Subriel Matias, man. It's not going to be pretty, bro. But hey, good for Subriel. I think you cut out, Clay, because I can't hear you for some weird reason.
Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like the Urgachev fight with Subriel. I think you're going to see Subriel getting hit real clean. Very early, first 3 to 4 rounds, he's going to be getting hit clean. He's going to be trying to set up that right hand. He's going to be trying to apply pressure coming forward, and because of that, it's going to give Dalton a lot of opportunities to use his angles and hit him with a lot of clean shots. But I ain't going to lie to you, man. I'm favoring Subriel Matias to win the fight just off the strength of, I believe, the pressure is going to be the ultimate litmus test towards round 8, 9. You know what I mean? 8, 9, 10 inside that window there. I think we're going to start seeing a momentum shift in there. And if Dalton Smith can make it to the final round and make it to the judges, he may take a lion's share of the early half and be able to pocket a couple of swing rounds in those last couple of rounds and walk off with a split decision. That's possible. I don't see him stopping Subriel Matias, but once again, I think this pressure is going to be a different pressure than Dalton Smith's ever been in the ring with. Either way, like I said earlier, fight of the year candidate.
Oh yeah,
quality style matchup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's kind of like, remember last year we started, and they'll talk about it in the 2025 awards, but the Calum Smith versus Buatsi fight that was on the February $25 pay-per-view card in Riyadh. Remember the whole 7 fights, right? That's still talked about as a fight of the year type of candidate. So that's what I'm expecting Dalton Smith and Subriel Matias to be. It's just that everything that you said about Subriel Matias is all the reasons why I think Dalton Smith will beat him. Okay. Because Subriel Matias doesn't have the ability to step back and outbox him in any way he can. Also, Subriel Matias has been in a lot of tough fights like Liam Paro, and also just recently Alberto Puello, who I thought really beat him, right? Dalton Smith hasn't been in that many wars because he just puts people away, and Dalton Smith's a big boy, Clay. So I'm going off of youth, strength, and of the fresher body. So if it turns into a war, which I'm hoping it does, turns into an absolute war, I actually see Subriel Matias getting stopped, bro. I see him getting stopped in it, but it'll be fun. And to that point, the fact that we're talking about such a fun fight because we're boxing aficionados and everybody who's listening to the show knows it's going to be a fun fight. 50,000 people will probably watch it.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about it, right? Because this card has some up and coming stars on it who need they should get the viewership. I mean, look at the young bull Keith Cologne, man, coming out of New Jersey, man, 8-0. I think he might be 8 knockouts. I think he might be at 100 knockout ratio. Yeah, 100% knockout ratio. He deserves to have his talent showcased on a big stage, man. Why put a pay-per-view number on this and redline once again a casual space who would love to grow with a Keith Cologne, a young kid coming out of New Jersey, putting the work he does. He's selling out his own little events that they put him in. He has a great following, great performance from him. I think that's going to be a fight that's unfortunately going to get put under the radar, right? And even Alfredo Santiago is going to be on this card fight. I mean, this is going to have a decent. It's going to be a decent card, and it's going to be a damn shame if the right eyes don't see on it. Don't see these fights. And it goes back to what Dana White was saying, right? The investing back into the sport that these promoters have a hard time doing. They're too busy extracting money, pulling out profits wherever they can get it, squeezing pennies into dimes. And these young fighters aren't being built up. They just don't have a platform that's concerned with their development. And that's what makes Zuffa Boxing, contrary to popular belief, it's making Zuffa Boxing a relevant thing because of what they're approaching the game with and who they're providing the opportunities to. Not the big superstars who already have their own following, who are able to sell the pay-per-views or pack out the arenas with 25,000 people. No, to the up-and-coming next generation fighters that are going to be the reason why boxing is still here 10 to 20 years down the line, right?
Right. And the fact that, again, Zuffa Boxing, and it's not out yet, but everybody kind of knows, so I could say this. Caleb Smith will most likely be the main event, right? You guys would be familiar with Caleb Smith, and he was the co-main event at Netflix, beating Fernando Vargas Jr. Right? Right. So, Caleb Walsh. I'm sorry, Caleb Walsh, the Irish, Caleb Walsh. So, the fact that Caleb Walsh, who's not a world title, is even, I guess he's a top 10 contender. We could call him a top 10 contender. The fact that he's going to get more viewership than Dalton Smith and Subriel Matias and that fantastic undercard is just sickening to me, bro.
Yeah.
It's just, you're killing, like what some of the people in the chat are saying. You're just killing. You're killing boxing on that side of the neighborhood.
100%. 100. Yo, Reyes, 100% what you're saying, right? The fact that you're putting these fighters in the ring, they're risking their lives, and they're not even getting what they should be getting out of this, which is exposure. It's exposure. And that almost segues a little bit, and we can stay on it longer, of course, but that segues a little bit into this whole entire situation with what's happening with Devin Haney at 147, what's happening with Shakur Stevenson at 135. You know what I mean? Why he's up at 145 and Teofimo Lopez and entertaining potentially fighting a fight at 147 and talking about rehydration clauses. Well, it's because the big money fights just aren't there for him where he's at. You don't have enough willing participants, and the willing participants don't have the buildup behind them to make them the big fighters they need to be, to bring that star quality, to bring that money to the table, to make it make sense to put him in a big fight. And this is what's happening when you kick that can down the road, Reyes. You keep kicking the can down the road. You keep waiting on these fighters to do something with the little bit that you're giving them. And then once they build themselves up, then you want to capitalize and get all the money off of them. You want to get in their way. You want to stop a Virgil Ortiz from Jerron Boutin is happening. You want to stop a Floyd Schofield Jr. and a Shakur Stevenson from happening. You want to get in the way of a William Zepeda and a Shakur Stevenson from happening. You know what I mean? There's a common denominator there in that situation, but you want to stop all these things because you're ready to capitalize. You're ready to capitalize off of the work that the fighter has done for themselves ultimately, because if they didn't do it, if Floyd Schofield Sr. wasn't out here, that's why he's out here on all these social media platforms screaming all types of bloody Hail Mary, calling out fighters, capping whatever, pricing himself out, doing these things. That's why Brian Norman Sr. is out here doing what he's doing, trying to build him up, because where is the work that's being put into these fighters and the platforms that's being given to them for them to showcase their skills so they can build up the intrigue behind them as fighters?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And by the way, Ray's new to being a studio producer on the back, so don't just jump in like that, brother. We need to introduce you, man.
Yeah, I was listen, man. Oh, hold on. Okay,
off the yes.
He's gonna get his privileges revoked soon.
Man,
trust me,
come
it's gonna happen. It's
you
gonna happen.
It look like it's a rookie production, bro.
Wow, you just can't get it to him, man.
Clay
You
was
just
in the
can't get
middle
it.
of
You give him a finger, they take the whole hand, bro.
Man, Clay was in the middle of a great soliloquy, and then all of a sudden, who the hell is this guy popping in? Man, wait for your damn introduction. Go ahead, Clay. Go ahead.
Pulled in the background, coming up in the building, the America's Most Hated, right? I think he might be battling. You know, you're America's Most Hated. They definitely hate you the most, Angelo. But my guy, my brother, Ray motherfucking Bates. What's good, Ray? What's good, fam, bro?
Oh man, listen, Angelo, I might be taking that lightly, bro.
My brother, Blue Blood Sports TV in the building. Slow, family.
Listen, man. Listen. Yo, Angelo, you put me on the spot, bro.
I'm just messing with you, man.
You know what?
You
know what? Hell yeah, you're the most hated right now. You love all the time, bro. How you gonna do that? Listen, man. Great times, man. We were just talking about all this over a Frequent channel. They was Frequent. I love his channel. Listen, man, if y'all can tap in, it's fun over there. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? It's not battle royale, but they when it does become that, I just fall back.
Okay. All right. It gets battle royale at times then.
Sometimes. But it is fun. It is a fun build. You know what I mean? It's a lot of creators that come over there and they show their love. So at the end of the day, man, it's all good to go over there and have fun a little bit and get some facts. But we was just building on that, man. They was talking about one thing, and I said, "Oh, let's ask about this," and you guys don't mind me switching up just a little bit. I was like, we got that, and you touched on this earlier, Clay. So we got that Xander Zayas and boss fight coming up, bro. And I said, what happens with if everybody's overlooking a boss? This guy just beat Tellez, right? And what happens if Xander Zayas just doesn't show up and he loses that belt? How does that change the landscape of 154? How does it change that landscape? But we can touch on that later. Just keep that in the thought. I want to build on what you guys are talking about. So please get me up to speed because I heard something about Boots and Brian Norman.
The beautiful soliloquy that Clay had was just, again, the problem with boxing, and they're just eating their own selves on that side of the street. Dalton Smith versus Subriel Matias being a pay-per-view. And also even Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Let's not forget, I still have not forgotten, Turkey, man, you went on Nessa's show. You went on you promised us. You said no more pay-per-views. You said the end of pay-per-view. And what happens? Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, $70. $70 pay-per-view. By the way, you still have to already be subscribed to DAZN, which is either costing someone like me $20 a month or someone like Clay $30 a month. Well, now probably like $40 a month because he upgraded.
45,
but my point though is that ain't nobody, Ray, I'm telling, in America, in the United States of America, they won't even pay for the ESPN app, which is $30 a month, dude. The fact that there's not a lot of people that are subscribed to that. Paramount Plus is $59.99 for the year, bro. For the year. That's how much it costs you.
Yeah.
Okay? And $59.99 for the year is nothing. Number one, right?
Less than $10 a month.
Yeah. Number two, I watch Landman. It doesn't matter. I watch Landman. I watch Tulsa King, Mayor Kingstown. Like, I'm a Paramount Plus guy. But now you're also going to be giving me free boxing and UFC content? Shit. You know what I'm saying?
I think the DAZN thing is getting taken out of proportion.
I think so,
it's that bad, man. I think that if you're somebody who's on the DAZN app, if you're on there anyway, if that's what you're doing anyway,
like me,
it's really a $15 a month edition, right? And
if you want to do it that way. If you want to do the
right, or you can pay for the year, right. And then the pay-per-view no longer becomes an issue. You're not caring about $70 for the pay-per-view, right? But I'll tell you what though, that Teofimo Lopez Shakur Stevenson is a $70 fight before the Subriel Matias versus Dalton Smith card is a $70 fight.
No, absolutely.
That puts everything into perspective. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I mean, look, and like I told you, Angelo, I told you this before. Don't be shocked that there's some real chess being played here. They're not funneling fans over into another platform right now, and this is not if this is not working hand in hand to a certain degree, right? So we'll sit back and watch how that develops, because the mastermind behind this whole entire situation is one guy who's controlling the money and controlling the algorithm right now in the space. So got to ask yourself, on one side he's giving you $60 a year to watch fights, or he's giving you on the other side $45 a month to catch the biggest fight. So you can make your choice on which way you want to go. Either way he wins, right?
Yeah, and then the other thing, Ray, is just so that you can add on all of this is when we're talking about Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson, that's January 31st. January 31st is going to be the wildest fight Saturday, bro, because you got Xander Zayas versus Abaz Baru in Tubi or Univision, or make a decision, Top Rank, because I still don't know where you're showing it, right? You got The Zone with Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson, and that great card, by the way, which has Shushu Carrington finally getting a shot at being called the real champ. And the co-main event with KEYSHAWN Davis, the return of KEYSHAWN Davis, right? And we got the heavyweight, Jarrell Miller. Like, it's a great card. Fantastic card, right? No complaints about the card.
Right.
But also on that day, you have Bakram fighting Josh Kelly, and we're going to find out.
The whole day is stacked.
But hold on. You're missing. Let me tell you what was removed from that day, and it hurt my feelings to find out. You probably already know. I can't believe Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo was removed.
Were they really ever on, right now? Were they ever really on?
Listen,
come on.
That was sarcastic, bro.
Listen. That was supposed to be on the 31st, and I was like, "Yo, this is a hell of a day." So I'm sitting there like, "Yo, are you kidding me right now?"
Ray's being disingenuous, people.
Because
you're being disingenuous. You knew damn well that was a good. You knew that was a 50-50 thing. Like we weren't expecting that card to roll out.
Listen, I was hoping it, but in my heart of hearts, I was hoping it would, because I thought it was.
Yes.
Right. So my thing was, I was waiting for it to be, and I just literally found out, because I was like, yeah, I guess it's on the table. But what hurt me was the fact that boxing was moving in the right direction, with all the platforms having something on the same date, all these big fights, all these notable names, all these fighters, all fighting on one day. It didn't matter if you had Amazon, had Tubi, had whatever, DAZN, you were catching a fight. At the end of the day, there was something for everybody. And that's what was leading me to say, yo, this is going to be the craziest weekend probably of the last 10 years, because you had so many fights going on. It was almost like college bowl season. You know what I mean? You got to pick and choose where'd you want to go. You know what I mean? You got to pick and choose who you're a fan of. You got to pick and choose what fight. And then when they let me down with that, I was like, yo, are you kidding me?
I think, Ray, I ain't going to lie, man. I'm kind of happy they didn't roll that fight out, because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know how I'm going to watch all these fights. And I'm just being honest to say that it was kind of a relief to hear that. I wish some of these fights would creep off into the Sunday, or you know what I'm saying, Friday, like spread it out a little bit so I can catch all the fights on Friday. Yeah, something, because putting it all on the same day, I appreciate it, because I'll tell you what it means to me. And I told you guys this in late 2025. They're fighting for us. We're the bad bitches in the club. Pause. You know what I'm saying? They all want us. You know what I mean? They want, don't you think I'm sexy? Come on, baby, let me know. You know what I'm saying? We at the bar. Look, you know what I mean? We can only drink one drink at a time. Calm down. You know what I mean? I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Don't be grabbing on me. Don't be grabbing on me. Hold up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, you can be the baddest bitch. I'm just gonna let you know I'm that dude that's there, that's swagged out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, whatever. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, what I saw is that they clearly understand that the promoters are understanding that this has become a competitive space for these guys, and that they're fighting over the real estate. They're fighting over the viewership. They're fighting over us as a fans, however you want to look at it. But you know, stacking up a whole entire day and forcing me to pick, it's kind of diabolical. And especially with a Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson fight in the mix. I don't think you guys, I'm sorry, Josh. And actually, Josh and Bakram.
It's the daytime. Daytime.
Exactly. That'll be
early. And again, and let me add this, Clay. I think part of it also is, so if you are a subscriber to the Zone, like I am, and so many of us do, because we're mainly into it, not for all the other crap that they're giving us. We're in it because we want to see boxing, right? That's it. I mean, they give us all the other stuff, BKFC and Misfits and whatever. Dude, I don't watch none of that. All right, I'm gonna keep it real.
I called me a BKFC the other night, man. I got bored and I was sitting here. I was like, yo, this is swinging.
That's about to change in 2026, and you know it, Clay. You're gonna stop that. And you're gonna start watching more UFCs. What you're gonna do? So stop.
I don't know. I don't. You asked me about a BKFC fighter right now. I couldn't tell you one legitimate name. Austin Trout. You know what I'm saying? But that
Trout.
He used to be a boxer, but no, I'm definitely saying. I'm saying in the death scrolling that I could be doing. If I get bored and I hit play, I might catch it.
Right. But I mean,
I haven't caught a whole event yet.
Yeah, no. But what my point though is that with the zone, that gives us the access to being able to watch global boxing. To which I've always said when I came on the show, I've always said that globally, boxing is a top 4, top 3 sports in the world, and there's so much of it happening. Right. So I think what's happening now is because the boxing in America is starting to be more visible. That there's people going, oh my gosh, there's boxing in the morning. Like, look at the Riyadh card. You and Ray were covering that Riyadh card, bro. That was like 2 a.m. Man, how many Americans were up at 2 a.m. watching, by the way, 2 of the pound for pound best fighters in the world fighting on a great card, amazing card. But again, that was for the Eastern time. And when I say Eastern, I meant Japan and Asia and whatnot. That's the Far Eastern time zone, right? So same thing on the 31st is going to be so crazy because if Subriel or if Xander Zayas Abbas Baru tries to compete at that prime time spot, the weird thing about it is number one, Theo Shakur, hands down, that card, Madison Square Garden, is the boxing event that everybody will talk about. Right. The problem, Ray Davis, and this is the problem.
I'm listening.
Again, I will be America's most hated when I say this, but it's going to be true. I will bet you money right now that more people will watch UFC 325 free on Paramount Plus January 31st on the same exact time slot as they would Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur on live. Okay? Because it's a $70 pay-per-view for the casual, the zone member.
Yes.
Okay. Versus there's a bunch of people that watch Landman, and they're gonna be like, you giving this to me? I'm gonna watch it anyways. There's unless, and this is my one caveat to both. If there's college football on that day, Ray, okay, then all of you are screwed in America. If there's college football on January 31st during Teofimo Lopez or Shakur Stevenson, those numbers are going to be even lower, bro. Those numbers are going to be even lower.
I think without a doubt, it's the end product of not tilling the soil, right? Just harvesting and not tilling the soil, not getting the soil ready for the next generation, for the next crop. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's happening right now. And in order to pay these fighters these big bags, the pay-per-view thing is the only reasonable thing they can put their finger on to supplement that money to make it make sense to put these fights together. And it rolls out into the whole idea of a Devin Haney right now sitting at 147 pounds, coming off of a great performance against Brian Norman Jr., but not being able to find a real dance partner, right? People who are trying to shoot the fight down. I mean, the people who he has to go to, the Rolly Romeros, right? The Mario Barrioses, right? Even Ryan Garcia right now, who's another part of the conversation because you don't even know what that man is doing. I mean, shout out to Greg Hackett, my guy, was talking. He's legitimately favoring Mario Barrios to win this fight. He thinks that Ryan is just not preparing. He's just not preparing accordingly. We're not seeing him prepare, at least. We're seeing him in his living room with YouTube influencers, and he's wearing a bodysuit and getting punched in the stomach, or having other influencers wear bodysuits and he's punching him in the stomach. We don't know how ready he's getting for this fight. But if he does beat Mario Barrios and becomes a title holder, then the division becomes a little bit more interesting. But the Tiger Johnsons, the Rohan Polancos, right? The Raul Corriels, the up and coming 147-pound fighters don't have a following and haven't been built up enough brand wise to make big money fights for Devin Haney, right? For him to get involved in those fights. They become high risk, low reward fights, and the activity for these guys are horrible. And then you're putting pay-per-views on top of that when you're putting them on events, so they can't even get enough eyes on them to build up a following. So now it gets to the point to where it's like, okay, if 147 is going to become interesting, then it needs to be some elements added to it, it seems, because clearly nobody who's already there is checking the boxes to make something significant with Devin Haney. Am I by myself on that one, guys?
No, you're
right.
Pretty much on the accurate role, yeah.
Right? There's nobody there for him.
Here's the thing. There's champions there, right? And that's what he wants to do. He wants to go after the champions, right? But here's the problem. The people don't want to see him fight the champions because he's leftovers. They're guys that already been beat or defeated. Their guys are not on his level. It's an easy fight for him. So what they want to do is see an exciting fight for him, and they want him to go up and fight Boots, a lot of people. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. He don't need to go up. He just got the 47. Right. He wants to reign there. Why not let the man reign there and do his thing, right? So what's the other thing? You have all these guys in the betweener rate at 140, and a lot of them guys can make the weight at 147, and that's where the money's going to be, right? The division is a division for a reason, and as it moves forward and these guys start coming up, you'll start seeing the money come in with them. They'll all start making that division what it's supposed to be: highlights and bright lights and music coming to our ears. You know what I mean? A big dance floor for everybody. So let's wait and see how it looks. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll get back to where this guy was right here in his heyday, and we'll start seeing all the fights rumble and roll out, and you'll start seeing very good competition at the division of 147. That's what I'm hoping for.
No, guys,
I agree with that.
What's being said right here they say, what's the odds on Barrios beating Ryan? I'm betting the house. Hey, man, I'm betting nothing.
I am.
You're betting on the house that Ryan's just going to be Barrios no matter what?
No. I'm betting
Barrios. What's odds on Barrios? He's betting on Barrios. He's betting on Barrios.
Right. I think Barrios is going to win. I definitely do.
Listen, I think that, and I want to ask this question, and Reyes, it's, I'm going to send it to you because I know you're going to say something else, but you can add your response to on the back end of whatever you're going to say to this one. What level of Ryan Garcia is the bare minimum level to be Mario Barrios? Is it 85? Is it 90? Is it 70? Can 50% Ryan Garcia take care of the job? I mean, we just saw him get outclassed last year against Rolly Romero. Nobody seen that happening that way. If anybody anticipating Rolly Romero beating Ryan Garcia was going to be a knockout, did you see Rolly Romero outboxing Ryan Garcia and winning a unanimous decision? I don't know.
I mean, you were there, Clay, so you were there to watch that. Honestly, the way I saw that is Ryan went in there and had his particular style and game plan of what he was going to do. He got caught, and then when he got caught, it felt like Rolly didn't want to do too much to press the action, and but just enough to win rounds. And Ryan didn't really want to fight anymore in terms of, let me take some chances, and if I get knocked out, I get knocked out. And he just kind of took the bag, right? And what really saved that Cinco de Mayo weekend, because the Skull Canelo fight was also horrible, was Naoya Inoue here in Vegas having that war with Ramon Cardenas, right? And everybody, and ESPN numbers were good for that. I think they got like 4 million live viewerships on that night or something on a Sunday night. So anyway, what version of Ryan Garcia? I mean, I think that the reason why so many people believe Ryan should beat Mario Barrios is we're talking about the Mario Barrios who was on the undercard of a Jake Paul fight that really kind of lost to Abel Ramos, bro. Like, he didn't look good, right? Maybe he looked, maybe good enough to win, but that didn't look great. Prior to that, I think it was Medina's brother gave him a pretty good beating. So he's kind of shot, bro. Like, between getting knocked out by Tank and Manny Pacquiao, who's old, bro. I mean, like, Manny Pacquiao is almost your age. You know what I'm saying, right? And Manny really beat Barrios. The question more is like, what version of Barrios can we have to beat a 60% Ryan Garcia?
Listen,
Ryan's young, dude.
Let's
Ryan's
be honest,
young.
though. Mario Barrios went and fought a draw with Abel Ramos, right? That was a great fight. Mario Barrios is a fighter who's well-rounded. He's decent in every area, and he's not there to be knocked out. He's not there to be, he's not bad like people say he's bad. He just hasn't been able to separate himself as an elite in the division that he's in my opinion. That's all it is.
Now, do you think
is Mario Barrios better than Rolly Romero?
Yes.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Okay.
He's better than Rolly. Yes.
He's better than Rolly Romero, right?
Yes.
Rolly Romero just one-sidedly took care of Ryan Garcia, right?
But again, but you were there, Clay. So honestly, tell me, did it feel like Ryan wanted to fight the rest of the way after he got knocked down?
Ryan got hit and didn't want to get hit no more. He got scared to get knocked out. That's what it was.
He ran away with the bag, bro. He just ran away with the bag.
Yes, but Rolly was boxing him, staying behind that jab, staying patient. You know what I'm saying? Great footwork, was cutting the ring off on him. Rolly did his thing, bro. Like, it wasn't
okay. Here's a fair question for you, since we're talking 147 anyways. Do you believe that Guillaume will lose to Rolly, or do you think Guillaume's about to beat him?
Oh, let's not change the channel yet.
I don't want to change the channel either, because
I definitely like that, but we'll get there.
I don't want to go there because 100% I do think Guillaume wins that fight, but I think that's a whole different conversation. This is
but yeah, it's about Ryan, right?
Garcia and Mario Barrios.
The only way Ryan loses this fight, in my opinion, and because you guys know I'm big on Ryan's talent. The problem with him has always been the mental side, right? Is he gonna get in? You know, but
also his commitment. To getting better
100%.
outside of the ring, to working with the trainer, to stay with the trainer, to run, to stick to a training game plan or regimen.
Totally agree.
To be better.
Right.
The last time I seen Ryan Garcia be decent was Luke Campbell, bro.
Right.
That was the last time I seen him be.
I thought he looked pretty good against Duarte. I thought he looked good against Duarte.
In that California roll, bending off.
It works, dude. It works.
Yeah. Oh my God. Where my boo button? Where my boo button? Against Oscar Duarte, bro, he was looking so bad until he ended it. Until he fought Duarte, it was a horrible performance. Come on,
well,
man.
I mean, but okay, now when we okay, let's go with your narrative, because like I said, if it works and it's ugly, who cares, right? But all right, let's go with your narrative. He did knock out Duarte though, and you would say that
he just proves that he has power in his left hand.
And now, if he can do that against Duarte, who is very hard to knock out. You don't think he could just catch Mario Barrios even if
I'm gonna tell you why, because Oscar Duarte pushes it too much, and he walked into that shot. He pushes it too much. He's too aggressive. Mario Barrios isn't like that. He'll be patient and he'll stay behind that jab. He'll control the distance. He'll wait on that left hook. He'll keep his hand up.
Right? I hear you.
Keep his right hand up.
You're saying Mario Barrios is going to look like the way he looked against Manny Pacquiao? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is Mario Barrios in front of Manny Pacquiao. Listen, bro, I don't know. Listen, that is a real test. Mario Barrios has not been able to ever separate himself as an elite in the welterweight division. For somebody who's holding a belt, he's been one of the worst champions in the welterweight division in a long time.
Correct.
Yeah,
because the champions just carry themselves in a certain way. He just doesn't do that.
And that's my point, Clay, is the fact that he had a 46-year-old man.
The belt. He holds it. He doesn't lose.
Only because of the stupid politics of boxing, bro. That's why he holds it.
I mean, yes, bad decisions.
Ray, there's plenty of people that should have already fought Mario Barrios by now, including Devin Haney.
I agree.
So that's the only reason why he has it, is the stupid politics of boxing.
But the opponents that he fights against are arguably better than Ryan Garcia.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yes or no? Outside of Ryan Garcia's check left hook, which is amazing.
Abel Ramos is better than Ryan Garcia, bro. That's what you're going to say.
A better Keith Thurman.
You're going to say Medina's little brother is better than Ryan Garcia. That's what you guys say.
I think there's arguments there.
Oh my gosh, you guys are killing me.
I think
no, Reyes. Ryan is killing you.
Well, that's true.
Right.
Ryan, because you know what the problem is? The problem is he should be better.
Right.
That's
He's
the reality.
Not boxing. He's
true.
definitely not boxing. He's just swinging. I think he's fighting. You know what I mean?
True.
He's like, and I think that's what Clay's ultimate point is like, when he's in the ring, is he going to fight or is he going to box? Is he training for boxing or is he just training to come to the fight?
Right.
Because it seems to be that with Ryan Garcia a lot lately, and seeing him just fight, he occasionally gets a victory or he gets some type of some lucky shots in, because that's what you do in a fight. You're swinging for the fences or you're swinging to knock somebody out. You're not swinging to control the action. You're not swinging to discipline your opponent and win on points. You're winning to just get a knockout or lose. And I think that's where Ryan falls into that thin line of, is he coming to fight or is he coming to box? And I don't think he's going to box. And I think Barrios going to come out there to box. And Barrios has been in fights before. Barrios can get into a fight, but Barrios seems to only fall into a fight after the 6th round. And a lot of times, from Keith Thurman all the way down, right, to Tank, all that. 7th round with Tank, he fell into a fight. Other than that, he was controlling all these fights. He was always using his jabs, keeping his distance, keeping his hands up, able to control. Ramos, I think, was the only one I would say that he was really into a fight the whole fight from start to finish. He had no control. Ugas controlled the jab, wrecked Ugas.
Ugas was a good one. I'll give you that one. Ugas was a good one.
Even Manny Pacquiao, just to say the least. Like Pacquiao,
stop it, bro. Pacquiao was whooping his ass, bro. He lost. He totally lost.
Even Pacquiao, who was a difficult person, you let me finish. Was a difficult person for him to fight. He still was able to utilize his jab and not get into a fight with Pacquiao. That's why that fight, I think, was closer, because he couldn't figure Pacquiao out. Ryan's not hard to figure out, and I think that's the difference.
That's true. No, I'll give you guys all of that. I just again, man, I feel like let's go with this narrative that Ryan's not trying, which I agree with you guys on that. Ryan, please, if you're listening, can you just show America that you will actually live up to your talent? Because if you do, you're going to be a huge star in USA boxing.
No, is he far gone though? Is he far
he's
gone?
Just so young, Clay.
Has the work
he's
just
so young, man?
Has the work just not been put in with him? Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
I understand.
There's two ways to look at this, right? There's a Ryan Garcia who could do better and is choosing not to do better.
Right.
But then there's this other Ryan Garcia who just may be limited right now because he hasn't put the work in outside the ring to become a better fighter like he's supposed to be, because he's part of the rollout of Devin Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis. So he was part of that crew. So we've seen them develop and become better, and you'd like to believe Ryan Garcia is just better than he's being. And my question is that necessarily true?
Right. Nah, I mean, I guess we're on we don't know what we don't know, so we're on a wait and see, right? But I will say
he's not helping us out though either, right?
He's not. He's really Ryan, you're really not helping us out, man, because we're doing our best here, bro. We're doing our best okay, here's the thing. Ryan, you're 27 years old, you're one of the most talented people in the sport. You have a ton of viewership because of how you built your brand. We would love to see you meet your talents with your work ethic combined to a heightened state, so that you're one of the main players in 2026. Because honestly, let me put it back this way. Other than Ryan Garcia, who would be Devin Haney's biggest fight at 147?
His biggest fight at 147 right now,
other than Ryan Garcia. What would be bigger? Are you talking about money, or are you talking about competition?
I'm
talking about everything. I'm talking about money.
Money is going to be Ryan Garcia. Nobody bigger than Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia, pay-per-view. If it is a pay-per-view, it's Ryan Garcia.
It's only Ryan.
Right? So all we're talking about, and even shock factor, because we're all still like, we can't unsee what we saw, Ray Davis. We saw Ryan do what he did to Devin. We can't unsee it. We can't erase it. No matter how many times we say clenbuterol, right? We can't unsee what we saw, which is why none of us should have ever picked against Devin Haney on Brian Norman. But because we couldn't unsee it, Claymore,
Right.
We did like a couple of
more
dummies,
importantly was the Jose Ramirez fight we couldn't unsee. More than the Ryan, it was the Jose Ramirez fight that made the Ryan Garcia feel like, damn, did Ryan mess him up? Is he
right? Right.
Did he get hurt?
So like I said, there's a demon component in there that Haney still needs to do. So in terms of biggest fight at 147, who else would it be? Since we're talking about 147 for Devin Haney, who else would it be? Who could galvanize the American public to want to watch a boxing match at the Glamour division other than a Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney? You tell me.
I mean, listen, Angela, listen. Unfortunately, you are right on point, and that's what this whole this segment is about, right? It's about the Hitchins, the KEYSHAWN Davises, right? These fighters making the move up to 147 to check that box, to fill in that space, because unfortunately, the only thing Devin Haney can gamble on right now is Ryan Garcia doing his job against Mario Barrios. And unfortunately, Ryan Garcia just isn't. If you're Devin Haney and Bill Haney right now, how confident are you in Ryan Garcia and him being where he needs to be for that big fight to happen right now? It's got to be driving you crazy. If you're sitting here betting on, if Turkey Al-Ashik is telling Devin Haney and Bill Haney right now, hey, bro, all we waiting on is Ryan and we're going to give you $40 million, how excited are you?
Right.
If you're Bill and Devin. I know
you're a little nervous.
You're like, Turkey, nobody else? Nobody else? Only Ryan? Oh, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's a horrible situation. Hold on. CJ Rich Boxing in the building with the $2 says kickstarting the super chat engine. F Ryan Garcia. Salute to you, CJ Rich. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Reyes.
No. And that is again the issue. Since we're talking about the 147 division, it's so nice to have someone like Devin Haney who can be that great superstar, right? He really can be if put in the right stages. The problem is, again, like here, the Lewis Crocker one. I sent you that interview, right? Right. Lewis Crocker's with a new trainer.
I'm optimistic about. I'm optimistic.
All right, but here's the thing: because boxing is so global, Lewis Crocker will make money defending the IBF against Connor the Wolf Walker. Right. They had a great first fight. Right. It sells in the UK, and he's going to get his money. So the only reason why he would fight Devin Haney for a unification is if it's a Riyadh type money bag. Right. If it's not a Riyadh type money bag, no bueno. That's not happening. So now, what's Devin Haney going to do, Ray Davis? Is he going to fight Jack Catterall? Bro, he ain't fighting Jack Catterall. Why would he fight Jack Catterall? It's a voluntary. Jack Catterall's is mandatory. Why would you fight your mandatory right now when you can do a voluntary, right?
Don't you got 18 months? From when he just won the belt, because he was mandatory for Norman, right? That's crazy.
Yeah. So now let's look down that list. I say this to say, Ray Davis got all excited about Charlo versus Caleb Plant.
Listen, man.
Hold on, let me finish. Which never happened, right? And this Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios that we spent so much time talking about, I'm still not sure if that's going to happen or not.
It still hasn't been announced.
I don't see the MGM Grand selling tickets for it yet.
I mean, what is Ryan asking for to make that fight happen? What is he asking for?
Well, I thought it was signed. They signed everything.
That's what they said. I'm telling you, man, like it should be advertised right here in Vegas right now, and it's not being advertised yet.
Yeah,
as a venue.
But it's supposed to be February, right?
February. It's supposed to be February 21st. If it does happen, then supposedly on the undercard of that is Antoine Russell versus Hirooka. Supposedly, but we'll see.
I thought Golden Boy was running that card. Anyway.
I don't know. I thought Turkey's involved.
Yeah, it's Turkey, it's Golden Boy, and it's PBC.
Right.
I think that you know. And like I just said, what is Ryan Garcia even asking for that fight to happen? And based off of that budget, see, when you're talking about Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Tank Davis, Devin Haney, we can go outside the country and say Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. These kind of fighters, the amount of money you have to pay them, you need to put out a good 4 to damn near 6 month campaign of marketing in order to build the magnitude up of that fight to justify the millions of dollars you're spending on these fighters, right?
Right.
So if you're talking about a Ryan Garcia, $1 million fighter, right? This guy is a prize fighter. He if he doesn't do anything else, he brings eyes to the sport. You announce that as soon as you can. You get a press conference going as soon as you can, because I'm sure you're shooting Ryan Garcia north of $10 million.
Yeah, at least somewhere in the vicinity of
give or take.
Yeah, give or take.
Right. That's where you're at. And you're giving Mario Barrios what, 3 million, 4 million?
Maybe if he's lucky. Maybe.
I mean, he just came off of fighting Manny Pacquiao. He's been fighting on Netflix cards on the undercard of Jake Paul. He's been getting money. Mario Barrios has been getting money. You know what I'm saying? And then now what? You want to put on the undercard, right? How does a Gary Antoine Russell and Andy Hiroko look like on the paycheck where Gary Antoine Russell is defending his title to be on a card like that? Or maybe he's going to be on the Sebastian Fundora, Keith Thurman card, which that hasn't been announced yet, right?
Right.
So all these different things that are coming around here, these announcements aren't being made because there's still business being dealt with.
There is.
Right?
There's
still business being dealt with. We can say money, but people are going to say we out of our lane. We talking about people's money. I'm just going to say business.
Yeah. So and here's what's funny. Real quick, right? Here's what's funny. I'll let you go. For you guys who, again, earlier in the first hour, we talked about Zuffa Boxing. The fact that Zuffa Boxing rolled out a date with a television and no fighters, and here we are, we're talking about these fighters like Charlo, Caleb Plant, as Ray Davis said, and then it just doesn't happen because it was a rumor. Because there was no date and no TV, is giving you the landscape of 2026.
Talk to him, Ray.
I can only believe him, Ray, if you give me TV and venue. TV and venue tells me it's going to happen.
I agree. I'm not going to argue with you, but listen, this is what I got for you, right? So I'm reading up. We were talking about Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia.
Well, my bad, Ray. Let me just get this up.
Do that.
Lance Shepard salutes you, man. I appreciate the support, man. Says Haney versus Ben would be cool, 100%. But Ben has already showed you what he's thought about that fight.
Right.
And go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they're announcing the fight's been announced for February 21st. They're just looking for a venue, as you were just saying.
Okay.
There's no venue stated, but there is a fight scheduled for February 21st for them.
Well, Ray, that being said, what you're saying right there, right? So fine, I'm good with that, right?
Right.
They signed a contract, but they haven't found a venue that's willing to sign the contract. So it's still money, right? It's still the money part. It's called our budget is limiting us to what we can do. And a bunch of venues are going, I'm not interested in that. Go ahead, my bad.
No, you're right. I'm with you on that, right? So, you know what I mean? So they will be probably fighting on somebody's undercard, and they need a bigger fight to push that fight, of course, right? So at the end of it all, you even heard that Devin Haney was even trying to get on that card so he can, you know what I mean?
Ooh.
So, yeah, you didn't hear that. He was looking for an opponent to fight on that card. That's why he wanted the Lewis Crocker fight or the Rolly Romero fight. So he could fight the winner of this fight to get 3 belts or another belt added to this one. So that was another thing that they threw into the stipulations that he was trying to get on this February 21st card. That would have probably made the fight more interesting or that card more interesting. Another thing to put out there, though, to what you're saying, Reyes, is that all these things that are happening with the sport of boxing and the announcements and the money being an issue is exactly that. Not everybody has the same pocketbook, you know what I mean, or pockets. They don't have the same deep wallet. They can't just go in there and just say, this is what we want. That's what they want. We can't pay Ryan Garcia X amount of dollars unless there's a back end involved, which the PBC lives on, right? But can the PBC even put on a show that's going to be able to be solidified? I got a better chance to tell you, you know what? Jake Paul might put an MVP card on and throw this fight on his card because this will sell. Even if he has an all-women's card or a women's main event, this card will sell due to that because he's able to facilitate and make the money on that and pay these fighters. Ultimate thing is we have to understand that Ryan's just trying to get – I was asking this question earlier. Does Ryan even want to box? Is he just doing this last fight just to get out of that card and retire? I think he's doing great with commentating. I think that's really his lane, to be honest with you. But also, I think if he does get out of Oscar De La Hoya's this last fight, does he turn it up? Does he go back and focus on boxing? Is he going to have fun again? Is he going to be the boxer that he should be? These are the questions we really need to ask because as we're looking forward, right now, it doesn't seem like he's really interested in boxing because he really doesn't care about fucking with Oscar. Let's be clear. He doesn't like that guy, and Oscar really just wants to hold him accountable for everything he doesn't like. So it's becoming a hardship. And we're starting to see that going on now with Virgil Ortiz in that situation in his camp. All that arguing and disagreeing and fights being pushed off, not being pushed off, money being talked about, all these things. So, yes, to both of your points, money is the issue here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that I'll just add to what you're saying just to say that I think you're on the right path to a degree. But my thing is, has Ryan Garcia been secretly getting better? Has he been training? Because if he hasn't been, because if he hasn't been, when he does leave Golden Boy, like I keep saying, guys, can he do better than what he's been doing?
No.
Can he all of a sudden become passionate about the sport and all of a sudden, in my opinion, catch up pedigree-wise to his peers?
You see, and you know what? Let me add to that before you respond, right?
I think MVP will be, I just want to jump in. I think MVP will be a landing spot for him. I think him and Jake Paul, they're both YouTube celebrities. I think that's a great place for him to go to and build his career from there. It's an open gate for him. It gives him a platform, and it will give him more, like, even if it gives him stupid fights, at the end of the day, it's still going to give him fights, because now not only Jake Paul's a YouTuber, he's going to generate the names, but Ryan Garcia in partnership with that's also going to pull names into that, and he'll be able to fight whoever the hell he wants, whether it's a mega fight or John Smith off the street that just drove his cab to the stadium. We don't know. You know what I
mean? So is what you're essentially saying, Ray, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that was my point, is that the problem with, and again, the title of the subject today is about this 147 class, is in order for it to be a glamour division, you need the names, right? And Devin Haney would be a name, but he kind of needs, Sugar Ray Leonard needed Tommy Hearns, right? Wilfredo Benitez was there. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, so, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, there was always the whole, all right, eventually they're going to meet kind of thing, right? If Ryan Garcia, from what you're saying, right? If Ryan Garcia ends up taking the Tank Davis route, which is, I don't really care about the legacy, I just care about the money route, right? So you're telling me that you're thinking he's just going to do this Mario Barrio fight just to do it so that he can finally get out of Oscar's contract and move on with his life?
No,
you know what I
mean?
Right?
Let me be clear. That's a little bit you're adding into it. What I'm saying is, I think he wants a title. I think having a title will be something that will help his career. I think that title gets him to fight with Devin Haney. Win, lose, or draw, he has now been solidified a champion. And him being solidified a champion will put him where a lot of people have ranked him at 135.
Not win, lose, or draw, just win.
Well, just win. Well, winning will put him in that category of being a champion of the Four King era, right? That new Four King era. So that will put him where people have already stained him. Now, the issue is, what does he do after that? I think once he gets, I think Oscar is really a pain in his ass. And I think Oscar has been manipulating him and frustrating him to the point where I do believe there's some animosity towards that guy. He wants to get away from it at the end of the day. So we have to actually even point our fingers to say, even if he becomes a champion, he moves away from Oscar. Does that help him or does that hurt him? I think it helps him, because now he may be able to get the fights that he wants. He may be able to get a rematch with Rolly. He may be able to get a rematch with Devin Haney. He may be able to fight Conor Benn and put him on an equal playing field. He may even drop the belt and move up, being that he walks around looking like he's about 220 pounds. I mean, we don't know what Ryan does, right? So the point is, it turns a table for him. And I think without him having this fight, like I said, if he loses, I still think he does the same thing. He might just go into commentary. He might just do celebrity fights on MVP, whatever, and carry that torch, because we don't think.
And that's so rough to say it that way. Like, I understand where you're coming from.
I'm keeping it real.
No, I know. It's just the hard part for me is that with Gervonta Davis being the way he was, Gervonta was 30 going on to 31. He fights Lamont Roach, who wasn't even that mainstream popular at all, and everybody watched Lamont Roach beat him, right? And then the Jake Paul thing happens. He's not, is he fighting Pacquiao? Who knows? That's supposedly what's supposed to happen next, is he's going to fight Pacquiao. I don't know. You're already making it sound like Ryan is going that direction, and the problem that I have with it is that Ryan's only 27, man. He's only 27 years old. He's not gonna throw it away, Claymore. He's not just
Ryan,
gonna be like
Ryan decided to throw away when he took that first loss, and taking that second loss just really, I think that really just put the nail in the coffin. That's why he's taking this fight for the belt. He gets a championship. He solidifies his career. He can walk away happy as a belt holder. He'll take another fight, and like I said, if he loses or wins that next fight and gets another belt, good for him. If he loses, which people expect him to lose, then guess what? He rides off to the sunset the same exact way. If he loses his fight to Barrio, it makes it easier for him just to walk away. His career's done there. He can go over here. He signs. He does all these little gimmicky fights, and he does it with the acknowledgement of him being a former pro boxer. He gets to fight YouTubers. What's these guys? MMA fighters that he's been calling out for so right. All these guys has been calling out for so long.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's just hard for me to match that energy.
Yeah,
to who Ryan is, bro.
Yeah,
that's my problem.
You're sending him into Dancing with the Stars, and you're sending him there at 27 years old, and I just don't see.
Yeah, I don't agree.
I don't see him seeing it that way.
Look at him now. He's doing it now.
No, he's not.
He's doing it now without losing. Like he's out there, bro.
In fact, I'm gonna counter you, Ray, with a very controversial statement. Claymore, I'm gonna say that Ryan Garcia winning this year is the most significant thing that has to happen for the welterweight division.
Agree. I 100%. I agree with that 1,000%. Forget 100. I agree.
Yeah, look. Right, Ryan Garcia has shown interest in the sport from my point of view. Has he done it in the ring? No. Right. He's fell short with showing me the interest in preparing. His arrogance has gotten in the way of his relationship with trainers like Derek James, like Joe Goosen, like Eddie Reynoso, and so even his own father, right? He's a very headstrong person, and I question as to the one thing I question about Ryan Garcia is his development outside the ring. Have you been putting the work? Who have you been putting the work in with? How have you gotten better? Who have you brought in to your team that you can respect enough to where you allow their words to carry enough weight with you to affect the way you carry yourself as a boxer? Because nobody's been able to get in front of Ryan Garcia's ego. Nobody's been able to figure that thing out, right? Nobody. So I think also at the same time, what coexists in that same exact space is that there's a crazy toxic dynamic going on between him and Oscar De La Hoya. And I think that has a lot to do with his attitude towards his development. I think he's really been juggling this thing with Oscar De La Hoya in the I'm going to be a boss and move my career how I want to move it, because he's felt like Oscar hasn't been doing him justice. This has bled into his relationships with trainers and anybody else who's trying to speak to him about what he does in his career. Outside of maybe a Floyd Mayweather, this kid listens to nobody, right?
Right.
Now, when he leaves Oscar De La Hoya, what I'm worried about and what I'm be real with you, I'm leaning towards more is he's far gone. He's too far gone. So you'll become excited. You'll become passionate. You'll want to do something that you may be limited in now in comparison to your peers, because you need to be in the biggest fights. And I don't think anybody can truly favor you against the Devin Haneys or even a Shakur Stevenson who would come up multiple weight classes to fight you, or maybe even a Richardson Hitchins or a KEYSHAWN Davis, or maybe a Brian Norman Jr. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if he's not improving, if he's not taking the steps to improve where he needs to improve, maybe those kind of guys. But if Mario Barrios, the ultimate litmus test for you right now, because he's a fighter who at this point in your career, you should be able to beat, brother. Yep. Right? So if you're not able to beat Mario Barrios, then this is going to speak way beyond your relationship with Oscar De La Hoya, who at that point is not going to even care about working with you anymore, because you're going to be such a trash product at this point that he's probably going to laugh at you and be like, yeah, bro, go find somebody better to work with because you're a total bust. We all know you've been declining as far as your skill set is concerned. You're a one-trick pony, like Gervonta Tank Davis said you were. And once these fighters pick up on keeping that right hand up and getting away from that, which Rolly Romero was able to do very easily, you become somebody who's a limited one-dimensional fighter. And that is definitely going to hurt him on the long run. And 147 suffers tremendously on the back end of him failing right now. This is his last call. This is Ryan Garcia's last call to arms to do something in his career right now that is significant. And if he's not able to do it, it's going to speak to his confidence. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if he is limited, and I'll land it here, if he is limited, his lack of commitment to getting better may be a sign of how he truly feels about himself on his ability to get better. Because when you get to a point to where you just know you can't do no better, you don't even try, right? When you just know, like, no matter what you do, some people do, right? Some people know they can't do better, but they try anyway. God bless them. But a lot of people, when they hit that ceiling, they hit you very quickly with the, why even bother? And that's what Ryan Garcia seems to be doing. He seems to be hitting us with the why even bother, because he's not getting better. You know what I mean? He's just not getting better. And when you look at the trainers that have worked with him, and they give you even Derek James. I mean, I know it's all fun and jokes. They try to play it up, but watching him shake his head as Ryan Garcia is sitting there with a chain around his neck, punching the bag and performing for a camera, with Derek James sitting on his ass in the corner looking at this dude like, yo, this dude is a mess, bro. Like, what is this dude doing? Get these cameras the hell out of my gym, bro.
Lost his whole
train you for this fight.
Lost everybody he worked with over that nonsense too, right?
Yeah, we got to get ready for this fight. What is this guy doing? That's what James is looking at him like. Jesus,
even what Frank Martin said in recent news, right? Like, that guy was never my friend. That guy's a goofball. I didn't. Like,
nobody talks positively about being in the gym with Ryan Garcia, bro. Nobody.
Crazy, right?
Nobody does. Everybody. Anthony Joshua literally left Derek James, and I think it was on the back of Ryan Garcia. I'm telling you straight up. I think Anthony Joshua was like, "Yeah, I'm straight, bro. I'm going back to England, bro. You got a circus show going on in your gym, Derek. I'm not here for this, bro. I don't know what's going on. What are these cameras here? What the fuck is going on here? What is this shit? How many YouTube influencers are coming by the gym today? What the fuck? I'm trying to train and get my career back together, and I've got the Beast guy in here. I've got Neon in here. What's Neon doing in here? What's he getting ready for? I don't understand. Nah, that's just Ryan. You know, he's bringing okay, I'm straight. I'll be in England, bro. Ben, we still good? My bad, bro. Yeah, I'm coming home.
All right. So I got some breaking news. HLD just put it in the chat about a date that the PBC secured for March 31st, right? And me doing some research.
Fundora Thurman?
Yeah, it's probably Fundora Thurman.
I got Gary Anto Russell and Roca maybe be on that card, according to Andy's promoter or whatever. I don't know who that is, but so I'm hearing that that's going to be on the card. Now, I also got Manny Pacquiao's name whispering, and Floyd Schofield's name whispering with a take.
So are you saying they're going to do some weird ass super card where
that's what it looks like?
Fundora,
I'm going down
March 31st. Is this all March 31st?
Come on, man.
I'm getting March 21st. Excuse me, March 21st
or February 21st.
No, March 21st. I got PBC has like they're talking about Tank and Kid Austin. They're talking about Tank and
because Kid Austin posted on his Instagram this morning that February 21st is his date.
Okay, so then it ain't him. So it must be Manny Pacquiao and Tank being announced.
It's either that or I was thinking Fundora and Thurman.
And I was going to say what Thurman talking about this fight is about to happen. That's another fight that could be out there. So there's a lot of stuff they're mentioning here, and I'm just going through the list of things, and I went to PBC's website. The only thing I got was Gary Antoine Russell coming up. But there's a lot of names rolling around.
There's a lot of things that PBC needs to get done, right?
Check those boxes. Check those boxes. The pressure is on. Thank you, HLD, for throwing that out there, because I'm definitely.
You just had to shed a tear because they had you thinking on the 31st you're gonna see something.
I know, dude.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I thought I was going to see. Yeah, man.
Look, Ray. Everybody knows that you unofficially work for the PVC, bro. We get it.
Is that what it is, or is it because I rock with what's it, Jamal Charlo?
We got Bibble too. Just made an announcement for March-April return against Michael Effort.
Right.
He's fighting a mandatory instead of well, that means Baturviev and Benavidez must be real then.
Yeah.
I hope that's real.
And that name was mentioned too, but I don't think he's going to be fighting too much from or whatever a few months from now. He could.
All right.
But that's just it is what it is.
I think it's going to be Tank against Manny Pacquiao. That's what I've been hearing that, by the way, for a couple of weeks now.
That's been going on. We talked about that last year when Tank. Remember when Tank fell out of the Jake Paul thing? Even when he was a part of the Jake Paul thing, I said he was going to fight Pacquiao. That's how PBC was going to save themselves.
Yeah,
They're gonna
put that fight together. Tank's gonna get a payday, and it's gonna try to help the PBC make a good amount of money to put on the other fights. As far as Gary Antoine Russell is concerned, yeah, bro, God bless him, man. Oh, God bless him.
That'd be a year, won't it? That'd be a year.
Oh my God!
It'll be more than a year. It'll be a year and a month. At March 21st, his last fight was March 1st of last year, bro. That's such a tragedy to watch that whole entire career move around.
Gary Antoine, there's a place in Vegas for you, bro. The UFC PI is right here. Shakur's training here. Crawford's here. Come home, bro. Come home. Come to Zuffa Boxing, bro.
That Enigma gym will always be the home to the Russells, man. He ain't going nowhere when it comes to that. But as far as February 21st is concerned, I think that Floyd Schofield is expecting to be on that undercard of Barrios and Garcia. So I think that Barrios Garcia fight is, they're waiting on an arena, a venue.
Okay,
like everybody's saying, that's what it is.
It's funny to me. It's funny to me that Ray can say that there's an arena booked for the 21st, but no fights by PBC. But there's no arena for a fight that's already made between Ryan Garcia and Barrios, bro.
That's because that's a lot of narrative. That's a lot of stories that they like to push out there. And the reality is, it's black and white. It's easier to read than people want to give it credit to. It's very simple business. It's the same thing that people try to do with the Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach fight the first time, right? In Houston, that didn't happen. They tried to make it all deep and all the conspiracies. No, it's business. It's money in, money out. That's how these things work. This is prize fighting. So Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios not being able to find a venue yet, to me, speaks on potentially interest from venues and things of that nature who should be poised to make a lot of money from a situation like this. But clearly they're sitting here trying to balance it out and say, yeah, we are interested because it is Ryan Garcia. And we do understand that the WBC's gone ahead and pulled him out of suspension and given him all these opportunities, but we can't make your bottom line make sense for you by giving away our venue for free. I understand that you promised Ryan Garcia $10+ million to make this fight happen, and you guys need to make it back, but you better hope the pay-per-view sell. The venue is going to cost what the venue costs.
What places out in California? Because aren't they both from like LA or something like that, or close to LA? I know Ryan's from LA, but isn't he from close to Barrios, close to LA?
What same thing. I think he's San Antonio, Texas, actually, right? Ain't Mario Barrios from Texas?
I thought he's from LA.
Yeah, I thought Mario Barrios was from Texas.
Oh, he's from Texas? Oh, okay. Well, shit. Then you better find one of those
he's home of the Tyrannosaurus Rex short rib burrito.
Short rib burrito. Wow.
Yeah,
anyway,
bro.
And whatever the name of that gas station is that sells all that food that's not Sheets. Down there, Beavers or Bucky's or something like that.
Oh man.
But anyway,
but it is what it is. So I also want to continue to move the conversation forward to Richardson Hitchins and KEYSHAWN Davis. Richardson Hitchins right now supposedly in negotiations with Frank Martin. This is what the rumor is, that they're trying to see Frank Martin and him come together and maybe even put them on the undercard of the Ryan Garcia Mario card, right? Which would be a great fight.
Great. Love it.
And on the back end of that, I think Hitchins might be considering moving up to 147. The question is, how would the rollout look for him? You know what I'm saying? And KEYSHAWN Davis has already made it very clear what his intentions are on the back end of beating a Jermaine Ortiz. Can both these guys be the missing piece to get 147 where it needs to be? Do these guys take care of, do they hedge the issue of everything being on the back of Ryan Garcia doing his job just so Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney can hold down 147?
More talent at 147 helps, but like I said, Clay, like if we're talking for the hardcore,
willing full talent, right? That's willing to fight.
That like really wants to be here or wants to do it right at 147. So Hitchins at 147 and KEYSHAWN at 147. I mean, Ray, we don't know what we don't know, man. I don't even know how good these guys are going to look at the 140 match next. Let me see how they look at 140, but if they look good and they're talented, sure, I guess if you want to try to do what Devin Haney did. I think that it's maybe these guys are, because there's so much talk of like KEYSHAWN's already talking about going to 147, and you got Richardson Hitchins and Hitchins doing all this talking. maybe these guys saw what Devin Haney did and thought that was easy. You know what I mean? Right? Like maybe that's what
exactly
they're thinking.
That's exactly why I said if Hitchens moves up, he needs to go fight Brian Norman, because that's exactly, he called out the winner of Brian Norman and Devin Haney. And if you know you're not getting that fight with Devin Haney, your fight is Brian Norman. Go show us you belong there. Go show us you can do the same thing. And I doubt he can. I'm sorry to doubt him, but I just doubt he can beat Brian Norman.
I think he definitely could beat Brian Norman. Will he? Yeah. I don't know, but I think
and to be honest with you guys, I gotten a chance to watch Polanco with Coach Hector Bermudez showing us their live sparring. Man, dude, I'm sorry. I don't think Hitchins beats Polanco at 147.
No, hell no.
And I don't know yet about KEYSHAWN. And I love KEYSHAWN. I just want to see how he looks at 140 first before I go start talking about him at 147.
So I'm glad you brought that up too, right? Because we were talking about this earlier, and they were telling me that KEYSHAWN is already weeks out, weighing 140.8 pounds. And me and Clay was talking about that. Yo, that's crazy. He's weeks out from the fight, and he's already at the weight. That is diabolical. Thank you. Do it again, because people thought I was crazy when I was saying, yo, we better hope that dude don't, you know what I mean? That's not where he's at.
I mean, unless that's I don't know what that game plan is. Maybe
right.
Maybe it's a skill game plan. Maybe it's a new thing that he's doing. But you're already at 140, bro. Is that real?
And he's cut up like a freaking.
I don't know. We don't know what that is. That's people who speak. We don't know, right?
Right. No, I'm just telling. I'm saying what I heard through the grapevine. That was on the channel last night. I was like, he's at 140 already.
This might have been coming from the same.
I'll be honest with you. I don't believe it.
I don't either. I think
this grapevine you keep talking to, Ray, might be the same grapevine that I was telling you about Charlo versus Caleb.
Yeah, probably the same grapevine for sure, man. Same.
No. This is Jonathan. This is
searching content creation.
I think it was Jonathan Jackson that told me this, but I'm not.
I don't believe that, man. I don't know. One thing about KEYSHAWN, like I've said it already, bro. KEYSHAWN Davis inside of that ring has outside of what just happened in his last fight, that he didn't make the weight. He's been professional. He's been locked in. He's been that kind of fighter. He's had a moment of I don't know what the hell was going on, why he did that, what drove or motivated him to move that way. I personally think he planned on blowing the weight. I just think I'm be honest, I think he blew it more than he thought he was going to. I think he was just planning on coming in like 136.7. You know what I'm saying? But like I couldn't make it and still get the fight with De Los Santos. But I think he was ready to vacate that belt. I think he was ready to move on to greener pastures. And I think that the sanctioning fees conversation was something he was already entertaining getting from under. And I think he just did too much. But look, it doesn't matter. That's in the past. In front of him, I'm confident he knows how to carry himself in a boxing camp. He knows how to stay on weight, be on point, and make the weight easily for the fight. I expect him to be in great shape against Jermaine Ortiz. When he beat Jermaine Ortiz, we'll see that inside the ring. I think Jermaine presents a lot of different issues.
Yeah. You say 139 HLD? That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Listen, I'm keeping it real. I don't know. I'm just listening with, because I ain't follow him like that to hear all that, but that's crazy.
They ain't seen his feet on the scale. You don't know.
Apparently he posted a video or a picture or something at 140.8.
Well, to your original question, Clay, like in terms of KEYSHAWN and Hitchins, again, man, moving up to 147. I think because we're a channel that's supposed to educate everyone, we cater to boxing aficionado type people, but we're trying to let the casuals know here's what it is. I think people are, if Hitchins and KEYSHAWN are really acting like that, they might want to look up some of these names at 147, man, because a lot of these guys are good. They don't suck, man. Like, like Hunter Ben doesn't suck. Liam Paro doesn't suck. Patty Donovan doesn't suck. Emmanuel Stanionis, if he stays, he doesn't suck. Giasov doesn't suck. Catterall doesn't suck. Brian Norman's only loss is to Devin Haney, who's on the pound-for-pound list. He doesn't suck. Raul Coriel, who's undefeated, doesn't suck. Rohan Polanco, right? He's an up-and-comer. I'm just saying, why are you trying to move up, guys? Why are you doing this to yourselves? There's a lot of names in here, and I'm not sure you could beat some of these names yet. I'm not saying that you don't have the talent. I'm just saying Tiger Johnson, for example, looked good at 147, right? So that was a good move, or a good move on his last fight, him doing that.
Right.
So could we honestly sit here without looking at Hitchins right now and say he could beat Tiger Johnson? I mean, I don't know. Right? That's what I mean. It's like, too much projection, Clay. It's like, dude, why don't I just watch you at 140 first? Let me see what that looks like. Let me just see.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm looking right here. Oh my God. Yeah, Floyd Schofield is hilarious, bro. But he's hilarious, bro. Senior is hilarious. You can tell when he's doing his posting on Kid's gram, but Kid thinks he's fighting February 21st. He thinks he's fighting February 21st. But so I'm assuming he thinks that he's going to be on this Ryan Garcia Mario Barrios undercard. That's what I'm believing that he believes. Which would be a smart move by Oscar De La Hoya to do that. What do you guys think about? Have you guys paying attention to Floyd Schofield all of a sudden wanting this Abdullah Mason fight, but pricing himself out, almost like asking for 10, 20 million, whatever
I haven't been paying attention to no Floyd Schofield ever since you showed me that video, Clay.
No, right? That video was crazy.
I could give a damn, bro. I'm sorry. I'm like, whatever, dude. I want nothing to do with this group right now. I'm not.
You said, Kid Austin needs a new dad.
Oh man,
man, that's diabolical, bro. That's so crazy, bro.
That is crazy.
Nah, man. But look, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? As painful as it could be. Look, I try my best, and I try my best to always separate the son from the father. And the son is a fighter who I'm very interested in watching him develop. I'm interested in seeing him in some of the biggest fights. I think he's part of the future of boxing. I just think he's part of the conversation, especially when you're talking about the names like Abdullah Mason, Emiliano Vargas, KEYSHAWN Davis, even Shakur Stevenson to a degree. He's an up-and-coming fighter who's going to be in all these conversations, especially if he's entertaining being elevated in the next coming weeks or months, on the back end of us figuring out what Gervonta Tank Davis plans on doing with his career and that title he's holding on to, right? So Floyd Schofield is going to be in that conversation. So we can't get around. I'm not going to beat around that. Now, this fight with Abdullah Mason, you guys will let me know what your understanding was, but this fight was on the table for him months ago, right? From what I understand, Abdullah Mason's Ring Magazine ambassadorship carried with it a Turki Al-Sheikh interest in paying for a fight between Abdullah Mason and Floyd Schofield for at least a minimum of $1 million to Floyd Schofield Jr., which would have been his biggest payday. It would have been his biggest payday that he got
today.
At to date, and he turned down the fight. Right around that same time, we saw Schofield get that 5-year, $5 million deal with Oscar De La Hoya that his father was boasting for and celebrating across the whole entire internet. And from my understanding, they walked away from that fight or priced themselves out of that fight because they made this deal with Oscar. And pretty much Oscar probably got in the way of that and said, not yet. It's not the time for that yet. But they're coming back around now. All of a sudden, they want that fight, right? They want to get this payday. Number one, to me, it says what you guys don't have no big fights that you can get involved with. And clearly, Schofield Sr., and I say senior because I would involve Junior, but I don't know how much of Junior's career he has a hand in making things happen all the way, right? Outside of get me a fight, Dad. But outside of that, it seems like Senior wants to get him a big payday, and they're acknowledging now that Abdullah Mason is a champion, the youngest champion right now in boxing, and that he carries with him a lot of interest. People are talking about the future of boxing as Abdullah Mason. He was arguably the breakout fighter of last year, right? The breakout fighter of the year last year. And the Schofields are, in my opinion, clout chasing at a minimum. But are they clout chasing in a genuine way? In other words, are they genuinely trying to make a fight, or are they clout chasing off of the name, knowingly not wanting the fight? What do you guys think?
Let me go first because I'll be short, Ray. Is Kid saying all of this, Claymore, or is the dad saying all of this?
Kid's social media is saying this. And I say that because it's his social media, but I think we know his father operates and moves his social media for him. For all we know, he's literally in there typing under Kid Austin's name. I think we've seen Kid Austin in an interview say he wanted the fight as well. From Kid Austin's point of view, from his understanding, what he's communicated, and I'll show you what he communicated real quick here, just so I don't got to put words into his mouth. I just sent this to Greg Hackett yesterday. I don't know if you can read it here. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus in on it properly.
But that's the kid saying this?
This is what, according to Kid Abdullah, tell Mr. Prince, your manager, to stand on his words. Let the fight happen.
Okay.
We accepted the first fight and you guys ran. Take the fight, Abdullah Mason. Your boss, you're the boss. These dudes are scary. And that's what he put on here. And
all right. Well, then, okay. So hold on, right? So
you stopped me before. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead. Go do.
I just want to say, first of all, that first fight he turned it down because it was $1 million fight. Then decided that he was going to go sign for $1 million per fight per year with Oscar De La Hoya, which is diabolical and crazy. After he did all that, he sat there and said that he needs all this money just to fight Abdullah Mason, who just became a champion because he sees something in the Sam Noakes fight, which we already know what it is. He thinks he can beat him. But at the same time, you know for a fact that this is a money grab. This is somebody trying to move their way into the picture to only and matter of fact, didn't Jay Prince already put it out there like, ain't going to happen? You clout chasing me. Leave me alone. We're not making this fight because you're not.
Jay Prince actually said,
he turned around to something different.
Yeah, no, Jay Prince said, I hope he does take the fight. I would like to see the fight get made. Jay Prince wants the fight to get made because Jay Prince believes in his product. He has a fighter who he believes in, has every right to believe in. He believes Abdullah handles that. But Reyes, what do you think about it?
I mean, if that's the kid saying it, then look, man, there's too much boxing going on and too many avenues to get paid for you not to take any type of payday. So if you're really about it and you want to fight Abdullah Mason for a world title, then take whatever money Turkey's willing to give you. If Turkey's the one that's really funding it, because whatever Turkey's money amount is, I'll guarantee you won't make any money more than what Turkey.
Was like, I bet.
Yeah. You know, you won't make any more money than whatever Turkey is offering you. That's a for sure fact right there. Having said that, though, I find it hard to believe, Clay, that you're telling me that Floyd Schofield, who's number 1 ranked at WBA, and Lucas Body is number 2 currently, right now. I'm looking at right.
Yes.
That even like MVP or Golden Boy couldn't do like a purse bid to get an interim or something because Gervonta doesn't have the belt, and if he is fighting Pacquiao, they got to totally vacate that belt, or maybe they won't. I don't know. I don't know how they do their business, but
they're embracing. They're embracing. That's what they're expecting their next fight to be. Just I've seen an interview with them. They got like this little talk show thing. They do a little podcasting. They got a girl who they got hosting the show, and Schofield Senior and Junior are on the show as co-hosts, I guess. I don't know, but it's a platform where they talk pretty transparently about what they're doing with the careers. And on that one right there, they said they're expecting the fight. They're basically waiting on Tank. They want the Tank fight. This is what they're saying. They want the Tank fight, and they're still in the race to see if they can get the Tank fight. But they know they're saying the worst case scenario is Tank vacates the belt, and that when on the back end of Tank vacating the belt, they'll be anticipating fighting for the belt against Lucas Body.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that's where again I'm confused, man. Abdullah Mason gets a voluntary. We know that at 135, and I'm only speaking as if I'm assuming that Shakur has left the division when I say this statement. All right. Because Shakur is fighting at 140. But now at 135, it's hard for me not to say that Abdullah Mason is the star of 135. You know, because we're about to see Andy Cruz versus Murataya. Murataya could beat Andy Cruz, but if he doesn't, then there's that fight. But other than that, you'd have a vacant WBC and a vacant WBA because Tank Davis is fighting Manny Pacquiao next, if he's even fighting at all. So the division's like empty, bro. It's just Abdullah Mason. So why would my question back to you guys is, why would Abdullah Mason fight Floyd Schofield when he could fight Joe Cordina, who is his mandatory after the Joe Cordina win in Stockton? Joe Cordina would be the easier fight, and he'd make more money if he does that fight.
Y'all gonna hate me for this. Damn, here I go. Here I go my brainstorming real quick, Clay.
To fight Abdullah Mason. Yeah, maybe he would stay well enough to receive that. But I would see him, come up to fight Abdullah Mason. maybe he would stay well enough to receive that.
That's Jay Prince basically saying he would hope that Floyd Schofield would take that fight. And I remember that interview. Basically, what he was saying in that interview is for all the shit that Schofield is talking, he would hope that at the end of all that talking, that he would actually step up and get this money and fight Abdullah Mason. It's either Floyd Schofield Jr. is part of the cap campaign right now, or he's just unaware of what's actually happening in the background, and they're telling him that the fight's not happening because of Abdullah Mason. But no, bro, it's clear, I think, to the boxing space that the Schofields price themselves out of that fight, bro. They price themselves out.
But here's the thing. I was just thinking about something, and this is actually a funny narrative. I just thought about this. How much does he owe Oscar De La Hoya? Or how much is that fight for Oscar De La Hoya in that contract? $5 million? What if the money he's asking for is to buy himself out of the Oscar De La Hoya contract?
Big facts. Yeah. Big facts. Big facts. Shout out to KO. Yeah, man. 100%. You know what I mean? I think they're waiting on Tank to leave, and they want to pick up the scraps. They'd rather get elevated than fight Tank.
Of course. Facts. I think so.
Yeah.
But that's crazy though, right?
Yeah. I think that Floyd Schofield situation is developing very. Let's see, because I think also there's an Oscar De La Hoya Golden Boy future to zone relationship that's on the line here that is going to make a big difference. The Schofields have made it. They've become very confident behind the idea that their relationship with Oscar De La Hoya is the best move they could have ever made, and so they're supporting Oscar, and by supporting Oscar, being on the opposite side of making some good fights together, like putting ultimatums on Shakur Stevenson to come to San Antonio, Texas to fight him there. Like, the only way we're fighting you is here. Like, Shakur gives a fuck. Like, he just won't literally ignore you and not fight you. Like, I'm not coming to fight you, bro, in San Antonio, bro. I'm the star. You're going to fight me in Jersey. You're going to fight me in Riyadh. You're going to fight me in West Bubblefuck if I tell you to, because you're lucky that I'm giving you a chance to fight me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how he's going to look at it. And now they've done it to Abdullah Mason. Yeah, we'll fight you. We want to fight you. Everybody knows we want to fight you. We just need 10 million. You don't want to fight him.
Right.
That's what that means. Right. You don't want to fight him. Don't play that game. We all know about how that works. It's called pricing out. Very old.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is not a new tactic of getting out of fights. We've watched it happen over and over and over again. Even in the past year, you know, you ask for $10 million, you're saying you don't want the fight, period, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stop playing.
Stop playing. And we're definitely on the same. We're definitely on the same informational content as Knockout Boxing, who said the same thing that we just.
Yeah, he says Coach already ducked Abdullah to fight Tevin Farmer for 100% for less money. Pulled out a Shakur fight 100%, and they hurt their hand to postpone the JoJo fight. I mean, yeah,
it's all play. It's all ploy. It's all bullshit. It's all. Listen, I hate to say it, KO, you down there in their neck of the woods. I know you're a little north of them guys, but hey, man, you might have better information than I do. I think.
Well, since we're talking about 135, which you know is the division, I get it. I get your question about Floyd Schofield. I would be remiss not to remind everyone that if you are a boxing aficionado and you really pay attention to it, that this Saturday on the Agit Kabayel WBC interim title defense that he's doing against Damian Neba, who's 17-0, undefeated heavyweight against undefeated heavyweight, the co-main event is for the interim WBC 135 championship that Shakur Stevenson is leaving between Javier Herrera, the knockout Cuban artist who's 23 years old, and Ricardo Nunes. And don't confuse him for Sugar Nunes. That ain't Sugar Nunes. Ricardo Nunes.
That's Eduardo Nunes.
That's Eduardo Nunes. Ricardo Nunes is got 7 losses, right? So but it should be a tough fight, but I'm expecting Javier 1 billion, that's his nickname. Javier 1 billion Herrera to win the fight. He's 17-0 with 15 knockouts. If he wins by knockout, that will be one of the higher knockout percentages. A 23-year-old young man. Now he's got a WBC, which you know how this works. When Shakur beats Tio, if Shakur beats Tio, which I think he will. So that's why I said when. when Shakur beats Tio, they will then make Javier Herrera the WBC legit champion. So what do you think about that for Abdullah Mason on a super fight, a 23-year-old against a 21-year-old that Turkey would rather pay for?
I love that
about
fight.
Making fights.
I
would love to see the fight, but I don't think Kid Austin in his life. I don't think it's not Kid Austin. I think Kid Austin accepts the smoke. I don't think his dad want to move anywhere near this kid. Let me keep it real with you.
You talking about Schofield or we talking about Abdullah?
Schofield. Oh, you talking about? Oh, he's talking about Abdullah.
I was talking about Herrera and Abdullah.
Oh, yeah. I love that fight. Yes, I'm sorry. My bad.
Are you paying attention, Ray?
When he said that, I was like, what?
I'm talking about Herrera,
bro. No smoke. That man literally has a brand called Appetite for Smoke. That man taking that fight.
My bad. I don't know why.
Again, sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. So again, the reason why I bring it up is since we're talking about 135, is
that's a great fight.
Raymond Murataya and Andy Cruz is fighting in 2 weeks. So that will solidify who the IBF is. We know that Abdullah Mason is the WBO, but his mandatory, which we just saw 3 weeks ago, is now Joe Cordina.
Right.
Shakur Stevenson is vacating the belt.
We don't know he's big. We don't know.
He has to once he beats Tio, is what I'm saying.
No, he don't. He can run. He can
come right back, bro. After he just beat Teofimo Lopez,
he don't got to make. First of all, he can run as a 2-division champion because they're funded 2 different sanction bodies, so he could definitely hold on to both belts.
Boom, that's true.
He can definitely hold on to both belts.
I think Shakur vacates and goes back to 135.
Yeah, I think he's going back down.
So really, you think he's going to do that, bro? I think if Shakur does what I think he's going to do, which is beat Tio and be the 140 WBO, I think he's just looking for super fights at that point, dude. He's the what does he need to prove?
But he's not going to defend his WBO title against who? KEYSHAWN Davis, who would be a mandatory, even though he said he's trying to go up to 147. But is he going to fight just mandatory defense, or who does he fight at one? I don't think he has any interest in fighting Gary.
You know what would be a big fight for him, like money wise, and at 140 if he wanted to do it. No, Super Yo's gonna get his ass whooped, bro. Believe me when I say
Dalton.
this.
You're gonna say Dalton.
No. I wasn't gonna say Dalton. I was gonna say Pitbull Cruz. Pitbull Cruz would be a fun fight.
He already ducked Shakur.
Yeah, he already passed the fight. He
ducked twice. He ducked Shakur.
You don't want to fight Shakur.
Okay, so Pitbull Cruz, absolutely. Even if he's getting turkey money, he does not want to fight Shakur.
He might, but he's already turned it down officially. Right. That's a fact, twice.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking of names of, you know what I mean, like fan friendly people that would want to watch it, kind of a fight. Not because Gary Antoine, I love him, but he doesn't have a fan base.
You don't think that people want to see Shakur fight Andy Cruz? Abdullah Mason, fight Javante.
They're not super fights. Like Abdullah
fight Floyd Schofield.
Like, do you think? Okay, let me ask you this. So run it back this way. So Shakur comes back down to 135. Do you think Shakur versus Abdullah Mason, given the current climate of Abdullah Mason's popularity, would you say that's a super fight, or would you rather wait till Abdullah Mason cleans everyone else up first? For
Abdullah's
that to become
cleaning everybody else up. Abdullah's going to do 1 or 2 more fights, and he's going to 140.
He's moving to 140. Correct.
So that's even better for why Shakur doesn't need to go back down to 135. You see what I'm saying?
The need and want to is different. Shakur is comfortable at 135. He feels strong there. He's fast. He knows he's the higher IQ fighter in that division. There are fights there to be made that I think Turkey is also very interested in. 140 has a lot of politics involved in it. Gary Antoine Russell, PBC, Subriel Matias, Rogue doing his own thing. You know what I'm saying? Richardson Hitchins probably getting ready to leave the division as well. Who's he going to? He's not, he's not interested. I think he's more interested in some 147 fights than he is in 140 fights. And I know he's not interested in 147 fights. I think at the end of the day, Teofimo is like Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford. It's just stylistically a fight he likes at 140. But outside of that, I feel like he'd rather build in the 135
and
pound.
We're missing the most important part. If he moves to 140, he has to punch harder. You know what I mean? His hands ain't what we think they are right now that we know of. So him fighting these guys up there you know what I mean. That he's got to keep these guys off him, so he has to have more sting on those punches. So
well,
I think
on the super fight idea, then what I'll say is, once Shakur beats T.O., I think the next fight for him, in all honesty, is the winner of Pacquiao versus Tank, dude. You know, super fight idea wise, like that's what else can Shakur do to prove to everybody that he's pound for pound one of the best that we're seeing right now? I don't know what to tell you. Sounds like I'm a glazer for Shakur, but I'm sorry, I do like him.
I think his biggest money opportunities are going to be outside of his comfort zone. I'll agree with you on that, Angelo. I think outside of his comfort zone is where his money's at. But to segue in real quick before we close out the show. So Tyson Fury's circulating right now in the space with all these videos. He's punching the bag. He's back in the gym. He's obviously getting ready for a big return. You got Fabio Wardley, who just, upset of the year last year, a breakout fighter in his own right, being that I never saw him being anything more than a domestic level heavyweight fighter. I'm be real with you. That victory over Joseph Parker was significant. But at the same time, now he's in the conversation now that Alexander Usyk seems to be on his final tour, whether it's Deontay Wilder, whether, he fights a Moses Atama or maybe even an Nagit Kabayel. Maybe he gives one of those guys an opportunity. But at the end of the day, it seems like Fabio Wardley is one of the up-and-coming heavyweight fighters right now. I got a question. As reckless and as chaotic as he is, can he provide – is Tyson Fury is an athletic fighter, believe it or not, right? Like, he's a tall, big heavyweight, but he's a fighter who likes to be on his toes, move around. They say athleticism is the first thing that goes with aging. Do you think that it's going to catch up to him in a situation? And can this be the prime weather for something crazy to happen and Fabio Wardley knock out Tyson Fury?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, Clay. I can see it because if the question is athleticism the thing that goes as you're getting older, which I have to remind everybody that Tyson Fury is 1 year younger than Usyk. Just for reference, all right. He looks like he's 108 years old, but he's not. He's 1 year younger than Usyk. Usyk also looks really old too, but Usyk's I think Usyk is 1 year younger than Terrence Crawford, bro. Like I think, or like a few months younger or something like that. So even Usyk is younger than Terrence. But I see if you can only evaluate Tyson Fury by his latest fight, which is the December of 2024, though that was over a year ago now. He did not bounce around when he fought Usyk. He tried to walk him down. So the question is, did he try to walk him down as strategy, or did he try to walk him down because his last chance of being a bouncy fighter was in May of 2024, and after May of 2024, he was like, "Woo! That's a lot of running, man." There was an argument there to say that his legs weren't there for the Francis Ngannou fight, right? Well, like we started really seeing his limit, that his limited ability to be mobile, and that's who he's always been. Ray, what do you think about it?
No question that's a bad fight. It's not looking good for him, bro. He's probably gonna get cooked. I'll be honest with you.
With Fabio? You think Fabio gets him?
I think Fabio Wardley cooks.
That's what I'm saying. Fabio gets Fury.
Absolutely. I think Fury is he'll be able to control the distance and things like that in the beginning of the fight. But I think as the fight wears on, the pressure is going to get to him. I think Fabio Wardley he'll get in there and start hitting with them club shots, bro, because he definitely got them caveman punches, and he ain't doing nothing but just trying to take your head off, bro. I'm just telling you, he'll hurt that man, bro. I think that his punches count too. His punches count. It's not like he's just swinging and they don't count. He's not building up shots and breaking you down. He's trying to hurt you. And every fight I've seen, I mean, he hit dude so hard on the turnbuckle, he spun him around and hit him, bro. The dude, wasn't his head lopsided or something?
No, his jaw was completely broken. And
you talking about Frazier Clark?
Yeah, Frazier Clark.
His whole thing was like, you know what I mean? Looked like the dude from
I think he could manifest a great body campaign. I think he can set up some big shots, and I think he's athletic enough.
Yep.
Dare I say, I think Fabio's more athletic than Tyson Fury. Yes? Am I bugging?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Well, I mean, the youth helps, but remember, Clay,
He's a
before
rugby player, though. He comes from the rugby background.
No, I know. But so what I'm saying is, so remember when I kept trying to explain to everyone on the channel before Fabio Wardley started doing these wins that since I've been watching Fabio Wardley coming from that white collar background into his career, I've always kind of called him the UK Deontay Wilder. Like, you may not like his style because he's honestly learning as he goes, but that power is real, right? And he keeps knocking everyone out. And then the big one really showed up, not on the Frazier Clark, but the Justice Honey. Justice Honey was whooping on him, bro. And then Thunder just bam knocked him out. So was it?
I know he won a lot of people money on that fight because I know a lot of people looking back like, oh, and then
So really, the coronation of it was him beating Joseph Parker, right? Because Joseph Parker's legit, and him beating Joseph Parker the way he did again in a grueling back and forth. That the round that he stops him in was a hell of a round. The round before that was a hell of a round, but that's Fabio Wardley. So you're asking Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury to get in with that kid? Probably not a good idea, like Ray Davis is saying.
That being said, though, so who does if Tyson Fury is and this is the once again when you're getting those big bags of money for putting together these fights, and when you're dealing with Turkey Al-Sheikh, you don't get cherry picks, you don't get tune-ups, you get hard fights. If Tyson Fury is going to return right now, and it's not going to be Usyk, and it's not going to be Anthony Joshua, as rumors are circulating that AJ may be retiring and done.
He's done. Yeah.
Who's the fight you fight against? I know it ain't Moses. I know he knows better than Moses.
Daniel Dubois.
Oh, really? You're going to go with Daniel? Because I still think Daniel would be dangerous for him, too. I think Daniel could knock him out.
That's not the point of it being dangerous. It's a fight that puts UK in the building. And unlike the other guys, he's a bigger name for a champion. He comes in there with some – he's a winnable fight compared to, I think, Wardley.
I don't think he's a winnable fight at all.
I think – well, what I'm saying is I think –
Did you try to call? Oh, my bad, bro. I missed the call. My bad. Call again. Call right now.
Yeah, but I think, Angelo, I think if we have that fight with Daniel Dubois makes a lot of mistakes, especially against fighters that can keep him at a distance. And I think, bro, last time he beat I almost said Ivan Kovaleski. What's his dude name? The Russian Mike Tyson, right? How did when he was fighting him, how did that fight?
Are you talking about
Saint Speaks 2026? Go ahead and just call that phone number on the screen. I just didn't have the volume up and I didn't hear you going off of my ears. So go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Ray. So you're saying he was fighting a Russian Mike Tyson. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that was a fight. Yo, you're funny, bro. I'm just saying when he fought him, I mean, he needed that knockout, right? That was a fight that was really going somewhere, right?
All right.
And being that he was a taller fighter and he had some power and some pop with that jab, he was making us re-question what Daniel Dubois was. Daniel Dubois' career took a turn in that fight, and he built on it to get a title. So I think Tyson Fury is that's a legitimate and a good fight for him. And here's the thing: if not that, only other person could be is Jake Gabriel, which is the interim title holder, and it puts him in the conversation of a rematch with Usyk, which is stupid, but it puts him right there.
He ain't trying to be more Usyk.
There's no question.
He won the title.
I understand where you're coming from, and there's no question that again, if you're paying attention to global heavyweight boxing, that it's got a ton of young athletes in it, from Dubois to Wardley to Itauma. I mean, they're all there. So since what we're trying to do is we're trying to say, well, who would Tyson Fury at 37? What would be a good fight for him as a comeback fight too, coming from a loss from over a year ago? And I think he needs to I don't think he needs to fight Daniel Dubois at all. You need to not get no Fabio Wardley smoke. You don't want to get no Daniel Dubois smoke. Like, you don't want none of that. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is.
I might agree.
No. I'm gonna go with what Clay's saying about how in order for you to get a fight, it has to be money and all of that. I think if you can somehow outbid the Italma movement, because they're trying to get Italma a title fight after the Jermaine Franklin that's happening in 2 weeks. So Italma fights Jermaine Franklin. Supposedly, he's supposed to fight Murat Gasayev next for the WBA after that, giving Moses a chance to have a world title. So if you're Frank Warren, why not have Gasayev fight Tyson Fury?
That's an easy fight for him. It's a hard puncher, but that guy took a beating before he got the knockout.
Exactly. So then Tyson Fury is now the legitimate WBA champion. And now you can sit there and go, Italma versus Fury could make sense. And you got Fury back in the picture. And then if he loses to Gasayev, now you know he's done. It's like, you're done, son.
Right.
And then you can move on. So that's who I would pick. No, that's why you got to let me think. I got this info, right?
Like, you did ask me.
Yeah. Now the other thing too, right? The other one I would have said is if let's say Frank Warren goes, no, F that. I already got Italma, who just knocked out Franklin, set up for Gasayev, then I think you should just fight Zhilei Zhang, man. Fight another old guy who's slow on his feet. And if you want to show that you can move around and box, why not? Just that would be a good comeback fight. Zhilei versus Tyson Fury.
Like that wanker. I beat that.
Bang Zhang is out of here, bro. He done.
Yeah, I'm done.
He cooking Chinese food. He's cooking up fries and
man, you guys
chicken.
are rough, man.
Zhang is done, bro. Zhang is done, bro. He's not in the game no more, bro.
Man,
what if he pulls a rabbit out
of one fight, guys?
Listen,
that's how you're gonna do.
What if he pulls a rabbit out of the hat and fight an American and Jared Anderson?
Oh, that would be fun. I'm in, Ray.
Now I'm gonna tell you straight up, Fabio Wardley's the fight.
You think that's what it is?
I think that's the fight. Because
he's
I think
gonna lose to Fabio Wardley, bro.
Yo, Clay knows something.
Listen, no, I'm not saying I know something, but I'm just gonna tell you that this is about what Turkey wants, not what Fury wants.
Right.
Because Fury's become a slave to the Turkey game because he's a slave to the money. So Fury's not turning down money, bro. And this is about the energy and the focus needs to be on Turkey Al-Sheikh. What does Turkey want? Because that's what Tyson Fury is going to do. He could talk all the talk he wants to do, but that man hasn't fought outside of Turkey Al-Sheikh since Francis Ngannou. You know what I'm saying? He's Turkey Al-Sheikh's fighter. So what does Turkey want to see? And I think Turkey would love to see Fabio Wardley fight against a Tyson Fury. I think he wanted to see Anthony Joshua make the fight happen, but clearly AJ's mind is not in the game, and he's at a minimum temporarily retired, if not permanently retired. He's not part of the conversation. If Tyson Fury this year wants to make a return, who's the best fight to make it against? Daniel Dubois is coming off of a loss from Alexander Usyk, and on the back end of that has turned away a fight with Frank Sanchez. So how confident is Daniel Dubois in who he is right now? By the way, Frank Sanchez and Richard Torres seem to be getting close to inking out a deal. So it looks like we're going to be seeing those guys getting in. It's not going to be against Deontay Wilder. That's old news and already done. Who is Turkey Al-Sheikh interested in Tyson Fury getting in the ring with, outside of maybe a Moses Italma? But Moses is also on his own journey to potentially be in the sweepstakes of fighting an Alexander Usyk after Usyk finishes his fight that I think is also going to happen between him and Deontay Wilder. So yeah, man, I think it's Fabio. I think Fabio gets a head nod on this one. He gets a fight. By the way, shout out to Z Pacino in the building, who's he's shedding some. This is the reality of the situation, right? That people can say whatever they want to say. At the end of the day, what he's saying here is accurate. Actually, he thinks Fury outboxes Fabio easily, just like Justice HANEY was, and the reach, and better yet, I think Tyson Fury has it in him to do that, But once again, pressure, bust pipes. He's getting older, even though I agree with you, Reyes. He's not as old as he looks, but those big guys, 6'5", 6, whatever the hell he is, 7, whatever the hell his height is, all that weight. He's not a guy who walks around light. He's not a guy who stays in that kind of shape. He's putting pressure on his joints. He had that crazy war with Deontay Wilder for 3 fights that legitimately is being argued aged him, right? That fight literally aged him. He hasn't been the same since. Can Fabio Wardley apply the pressure, press him, attack that body, cut the ring off, and not allow him to move around as freely as he wants to. Tyson has been playing the ropes a lot lately as well. Even against Usyk, he played the ropes. He wants to sit on. Fabio will destroy Tyson Fury against ropes because he's not going to headhunt. He's got a good trainer in his corner that's not going to let him fall for that. He's going to beat that body up like a big heavy bag, bro. He's going to beat, and Tyson's going to run out of those corners. He will stay out the corners. After the first or second time, he's going to be like, no more corner. No more sitting on the ropes. I'm not doing that no more. Now he's on his legs. He's on his feet. He's moving around. That conditioning happens. He starts to slow down. If Fabio Wardley catches Tyson Fury with that same shot that Usyk caught him with, backing up lazy with his chin in the air, he's going to be frozen from the top of his head to the bottom of his big old giant feet, bro. He's going to be laid out.
Yeah, no, and Clay, again, all these names that we've been talking about too, it's the heavyweight division is exciting. If you're really into boxing, it's fun to have all of these fights happening whether it's Moses who's fighting in 2 weeks, Agate's fighting this Saturday, Fabio Wardley, I'm sure they're going to announce a fight for him soon. Frank Sanchez is still in the mix, Richard Torres, Jared Anderson if he ever decides to want to fight again. Martin Bacoli still in there, right? These are all guys who aren't too old. Even Joseph Parker's not really old. He's got to go through this whole cocaine drama.
He's got to figure it out.
He's got to figure that out. But then Lawrence Acoli, Daniel Dubois, that Perro kid, the younger Perro kid, not the older Perro kid. But even the older Perro kid isn't that old, right? So the heavyweight division's fun. I just wish we had a big American name, because the up and comers are Tara Moana, Bakadir Jalalov. Like there's a lot of like fun heavyweight action happening. It's just we don't got no Americans, man. Come on, Richard Torres.
Yeah, Richard Torres has got to pull the trigger and make it happen. Yo, shout out to Intro MMA who says Fabio versus Jeet is the biggest heavyweight fight right now. Jeet finishes Damien Kimba this weekend, and then his dance partner is Fabio. I have a hard time not including Moses Atalma in the biggest fight that can be made in the heavyweight division. But that being said, Fabio Wardley and Geet Cabello is a great heavyweight fight. 100%. Yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah. I wonder if Moses Atalma might be better though against a Geet Cabello. You know what I mean? I wonder.
And by the way, the elephant in this room would be that: are we really going to support Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk versus Wilder? Are we really doing this? Are we supporting this?
If I sat there and supported Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, I'm not turning my nose up at that fight, bro. I'm not doing it.
Let me tell you the 8 ball in the corner pocket on this fight.
Okay.
The right hook, the right straight. There you go. Phone call.
Here we go. We got a phone call.
You guys might not be able to hear it, but let's see what happens.
From Saint.
Shout out to the Saint. What's good with you, family? The Saint, are you in? I don't hear you. You there?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I hear him.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Do you hear me? Oh, hold on a second. Oh, God, bro. Here goes that nonsense. Hold on 1 second.
Working on the 2026 kinks, y'all.
Yeah, he just hung up. That's
I can hear him.
Yeah, I heard him too.
You heard him
too? Yeah, totally heard him.
Clear?
Yeah. He's like he couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
It's dang. We need Mac to call.
Mac,
give us a call so we can make this work.
Salute to Nick J.
Sorry about that, Saint.
Sorry about that. Still trying to figure that out. Don't understand what just happened there. Let me see. This was on. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He heard a muffle.
Oh man,
HLD, bro.
Yeah, HLD.
Bring in the speaker.
Yo, he stay clouded, bro.
Microphone. That was
we're still trying to figure it out. But no, the heavyweight action will be fun this year. And again, we still got Philip Hergovich is on it. That's the white.
Oh,
that
I fixed it. Call back.
Oh my God!
Call back. He fixed it.
I fixed it. Call back.
Somebody else call in
out.
so we can test
I
this out. Yeah, HLD, somebody call in, man.
Yo, frequent, call in. Somebody call the line so I can make sure this is working. Just call the line right quick, just so I can see.
Nick J at work. Call in. Don't call Nick J. Nick J at work. Don't bother her.
Oh,
call in one more time. We got this. This.
So, anyways, I was saying, so Filip Hrgović is still involved. We still got Efe Ajagba in it. So yeah, man, heavyweight action is fun. Richard Riakporhe is here. Heavyweight action is fun.
Somebody call the damn line, bro.
Oh, hold on.
Ryan, call it right there. There's a number on the bottom of the screen. I'll put it up right now. Hold on. I want to see if it works, if I'm bugging.
Thanks, Ryan. Ryan will do it. Ryan from the 6 is gonna do it. Thank you, Ryan.
Ryan, that's the Boxing North, bro.
Yeah, that's Boxing North. Yeah, Ryan from the 6. Yeah, he says he'll call.
There's the number. Call the number. Call the number.
Help our guy out, Clay, man. He's still trying to make this whole thing work.
I know what I did, man. Call the number, man.
You're alienating all these calls we could have had, bro.
Yo.
Yeah, it's all these connections, man. I wish I had a production person who just stayed ahead of this and I didn't have to do, because I'm so just thumbs, all thumbs when it comes to technology.
You can have your son do it. There we go.
Hold on, let's see.
Call from.
Salute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Clay.
Yeah. Ryan, what's good?
There we go. Ryan's here.
No doubt, man. My guy in the building, man. Salute to you, family. Man. Everything's good, man.
Here it comes. Here you go back now.
Fury and Wardley, right?
Yeah, hold on one second.
Call from.
We got another
Big
one.
Dog, can you hear me?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I fixed it. I'm smart. Hold on one second. Don't hang up. Hold on one second.
All right.
Clay, you disappeared.
No, Clay's doing the hold. So you put Ryan on hold.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Ryan's back. Yeah.
All right, Ryan. What's good, fam? Talk to me.
Clay got 2 thumbs now.
Yeah, man, I think Frank Warren, he got the heavyweight division on lock right now. You know, he got Moses, he got Fabio, he got Tyson. Shoot, man. He still got Hrgović, don't he? Or is that not true?
Yes, sir. He has Hrgović, Ryan.
Yeah.
He can make like a little heavyweight tournament if he wants to. But man, I'm with it. The Fabio and Fury fight's a good fight. If AJ's really out the game, then yeah, man, that's a good fight. But I don't know if it's a good comeback for Fury. I think he needs a softer touch than Fabio.
Yeah.
So do you think Turkey's interested in that though? Like, you know how Turkey is, man. Is he going to give Tyson Fury that soft touch?
Nah, well, maybe, because I think he was going to give AJ a tune-up in February or something like that. They were talking about February, March. So maybe that slides in to be Fury's tune-up.
Okay.
Instead of AJ.
No doubt.
Hey, Ryan, what do you think of
the line works for y'all?
He can't hear you.
I'll get back in the chat, bro. I appreciate y'all.
No doubt. Salute, family, for sure. Salute, family. What's good, the Saint? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's working. You hear me?
Yeah, man. I hear you clear, man. What's on your mind, brother?
Salute, first off. Salute to my man to the right. And the guy down below. I didn't catch y'all name when I first jumped on.
No doubt. Ray Davis and Angelo Reyes.
Yeah, salute to those guys, man. I was interested in the topic. I like what you guys talking about outside of the heavyweight. Welterweight definitely needs a reboot. But an angle that I think doesn't get talked about enough is the last 140 pounders. They didn't rush to move up as well. Guys like Regis Prograis, Jose Ramirez, Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall. And I was wondering why that was. Obviously, the welterweight division was a bit stalled, due to Earl and Bud, Garcia, Thurman, Kell Brook. Then you had those guys just sitting there. Then we got somebody in mind who I think really stalled those guys from moving up, and that's Bruce Ennis. When you think about it, why didn't the last 140 crop move up? And I circled it around Boots Ennis. And once he left, the floodgates opened. Traffic started moving. You had Devin move up. Ryan moved up. Rolly moved up. All these guys. And then you got rumors that T.O. was going to move up. Hitchins possibly coming up. KEYSHAWN flirting with the idea. We definitely need to reboot at 140. But when you think about it, Boots was kind of like the boogeyman at the time. So I would say the past 140 guys didn't do much changing either. They were supposed to move up for a while. I remember Regis flirted with the idea. Josh Taylor could have been moved up after being undisputed. And these guys didn't. They seen Boots there. So I wanted to talk about that angle a bit and what y'all think about it, because no one really talked about that, you know. I named 4 guys that could have moved up. That was the past 140 before the 140 we got now, which is still entertaining. And those guys mixed it up. We speaking of that, we need to have the 140 crop right now and mix it up. Some other guys did. Regis fought Josh. Great fight, if you all can recall. The Jack fought Jose Ramirez. I know they all mixed it up, and I think this 140 crop now needs to do the same. But yeah, this is an angle that I wanted to speak on, and what y'all think about that. Boots being the reason that the division stalled for some years, and then that last 140 crop moving up. But I do agree, we do need a reboot. KEYSHAWN up there would be great. T.O. up there would be great, though he's smaller. And Richardson Hitchins would be great up there.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And I think Brian Norman needs a dance partner as well to get an opportunity to get his name back in the conversation. Because outside of that, he's going to be pulling up somebody behind him that's, fighters who can beat him, like Tiger Johnson and Raul Curiel and Rohan Polanco. Those guys are great fights for us as fans. But, if he's really trying to get his name back up in there and still be a prize fighter, a high level prize fighter, he probably wants one of these matchups to see if he can get his name in the game. And Ring Magazine, I think, has him at number 2 in the welterweight division. So he wants to guard that and make his next fight his best fight. As far as Joran Boots Ennis' presence being at 147, stopping a lot of the motion in the division, I couldn't agree with you more. Him being there, and Terrence Crawford also kind of that period of time where he was sitting on those belts and not vacating those belts, made it to where, like, what's the big prize going to be? Another interim version of a belt? Terrence Crawford, let's see what he does first. Let these guys elevate themselves into becoming champions. And then at that point, let's see if unifications could be on the table. But Boots being there was definitely a big part of it. And then him leaving is a big part of why you're seeing this wave of fighters making their way into 147. But at the same time, it seems like the division is a little stale still. Even though we saw these movements happening, there's still a reluctancy of these other fighters to make the big fights happen. It does seem like a few more pieces may be needed at 147 to kind of be a catalyst to trigger, this division from getting lit.
I agree. And the guys you have on your thumbnail will make that happen. Having Hitchins come up, KEYSHAWN, that'll make some waves in the welterweight division. But what we will need is these guys to fight. So we got guys like Rolly saying Devin's dad, Bill's gonna sue. If he fights him, that's not gonna help the division, right? Like, stalling fights that way, like, that's just crazy to me. Then we got Crawford, though he came out today, I seen on the Ring Magazine interview that he would like to unify against Devin.
Right.
Other rumors were, they're trying to get him on a multi-fight deal in order for it to happen, things like that. We just need these fights. So I was just interested into the topic. Love what you guys are talking about, and just keep the boxing talk going.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, the Saint, man. Salute to the Saint, man. Talk to you soon, brother.
Yeah, I like his question, man. I like his question.
What do you think, guys?
I like this question. And what I wanted to add to that is all the guys, because I remember, and I actually have this date memorized, January 22nd, 2023, Clay witnessed me on the panel mentioning about Boots moving out of the division, and everybody at 140 moving up to the division once Boots Ennis left that division. I said the floodgates will open. You will start seeing these guys move up, and you will see some of the guys that are still there that'll probably be less relevant of what they are now, but you'll see the fights happening. And the reason why you'll start, and it is still kind of not happening, but you'll see these guys moving up from 140. The reason why Regis, Josh Taylor took too long, the reason why Regis never moved up is because he always thought and considered himself to be a small welterweight.
47-pounder.
Right. So he always stayed in between, which is really crazy because when he hydrated, he hydrated to damn near 150 something pounds, 158 pounds. So he could have easily made a weight. I just think that he just didn't trust in himself to believe that he could do it at 157. Now, the other question is to ask is, why did Josh Taylor take so long? Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion. He was just holding on to his belt. After he even lost his belt, he still tried to make it one more run at 140, and he waited for Bud to leave because remember he was supposed to move up and fight Bud for the WBO, and he never made that happen. And everybody thought that would have been a good fight because he's 6 foot or whatever the case may be. He would have been a good fight for Bud, but he decided that he didn't want that fight. So there was a lot of guys that should have moved up, could have moved up, and never did. But once Boots left, man, that, like I said, that channel opened. It was like a floodgate from 140 hell, and they just all started to pour in. And you're going to start seeing it more and more. Not to mention, T.O. did say after this fight, win, lose, or draw, he's moving to 147. So that's another name we can actually expect to fight there. Jermaine Taylor, we'll probably see him move up to 147. We'll probably see Sandor Martin moving to 147, who looks like a guy that carries a lot of weight at the division of 160. You'll probably see Oscar Duarte, who looks like he's hovering around 147. You'll see maybe even Miguel was it Duermo? Duerno moving to 147. So yeah, these guys aren't like marquee names.
You said Oscar Duarte too, right?
Yeah, I did. They're not marquee names, but they're big names. They're big enough where they can move in, they can make a splash, and they can give trouble to a lot of guys that we suspect to be contenders or guys at the top of the divisions. So don't be surprised if you see that happening. And not to mention, Teofimo's old classic bully, Steve Claggett, is a 147-pounder, and he may make his return there. So there's a lot of people. Yeah, Ryan, I got you, bro. I shouted out Canada for you. So so Steve Claggett.
But Reyes, what do you think about it?
Yeah, no, I like the callers. I thank you, Ryan, for calling in. I thought I like that format of they get to say it, and they're very smart too. The two callers that we got. So I'm glad that you finally got it. You got that working so that we can have it more consistent.
No, I got one more step I got to figure out, which I plan on figuring out, which is how we get it to all of us can be involved in the conversation, because it seems like it's just me right now. I don't know why it's like that, but I will figure it out. Shout out to J Pitt City with the $2, says not everyone ducking the great Devo Dev. Yeah, 100%. I think they are the big guys are ducking. I think you got a lot of guys who want to fight. Like I think Tiger Johnson would jump on that fight, right? Like
that's true.
Rohan Polanco would be like, we need some more, right? Rohan Polanco's like, let me get that. You know what I'm saying? Right. These guys are ready, but they're not worth it for Devin, right? They're not worth it for the money that Devin wants now at this point of his career. Which he's not going to be able to get it. But also, I think those fighters need more dance partners because they don't seem that excited to fight each other either, right? So Tiger fight Roland, right? Make those fights happen down there. Raul Carrillo, you know what I'm saying? Fight Brian Norman,
right?
Brian Norman, make those fights happen, build up. But we also listen, man. We also have to say, can Golden Boy and Top Rank provide these guys with the viewership they need to be in front of to build themselves up when they make these fights, right? When you make these fights, where do you what cards do you put them on? Because if you do what you're doing with Subriel and Dalton, damn, bro, you're wasting a great fight and an opportunity to really build these guys up, right, guys?
Right. And what I was going to say is that full circle moment, again, Clay, from when we started. But you just said that very statement, which you can clip if you wanted to, that can these promoters give them the viewership? And us as the fan base, we are tired of this whole, I get it, Devin Haney, man, you're the king. But we are tired of, I'm not going to fight Rohan Polanco because it's not worth the money, which is hence why Zuffa Boxing will work, because people are going to get introduced to these set of fighters. They're just going to know the brand, not necessarily a name of a fighter. It's going to be Friday night fights like it used to be, and people are going to fight who they're going to fight, and we're not going to play this the number 7, like in for example, in the UFC, it's never a conversation of this guy who's ranked number 8 can't fight this champion. Whatever, Ray. When I'm getting into the Apex, bro, you're gonna find out why you didn't get to come when I brought Claymore.
I would have come through, Angelo. Don't leave me out.
You just said you the most hated. You just said you the most hated person in America, bro. Like, come on,
don't
bro.
group us up like that. Don't group us up, bro. I want to get into it, bro. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, that's right. Right. You can go wait. You can go wait at where we're gonna eat at after me and Clay are done.
Okay.
At the Apex, bro. That's what's gonna happen.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
But what I'm saying, man, stop. Your PBC check's coming, right? Your PBC check's coming. Don't worry.
It's not coming.
It's still up. It's still in the back end, bro. I'm waiting for that check
over there, bro. That budget is tight. That check.
So
that
anyways,
money is listen. I gotta wait to Sean Porter get his money. So I'm online.
Let me just finish. Let me land my plane. So my point is that there's a whole new group of audience that's whether it's my son or your son Clay or people who just have Paramount Plus that are going to be watching it. That it will take maybe 24 months, but 24 months from now, Friday Night Fights on Paramount Plus with Zuffa Boxing is going to be a brand. And what people will just be able to count on is every weekend that there's a UFC fight on a Saturday, there's always a boxing card on a Friday. And those are the people that are going to be watching that fight. And that's how they're going to re-educate the American fan base on how boxing filters, right? In the meantime, on this side of the street, we're going to continue to play this stupid game of, well, Haney could fight Polanco, but it's not worth it to Haney. You see what I'm trying to say, right? Like, we're the fan base that's still supporting that, which is fine because we want to see the best fight the best. But it is frustrating when if Polanco is ready to jump at fighting Haney for whatever the money might be, that Haney still won't do it, not because Haney's ducking, but because there's a certain market value that needs to happen in order for a fight like that to happen, which is my point. My point has always been the TKO promotional group is not trying to compete against Matchroom. They're not trying to compete against Queensberry.
Oh, no.
All they're trying to do is compete against the NFL.
Wait, what do you think about this right here? Are you familiar with Tamir Smalls going to Zuffa?
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. You know what, Saint? Let me look into it. I want to make sure that he signed the contract. There's certain people that may have gotten the offer
that they've reached out to. But haven't got
but the people that have signed the contract, you're gonna find out real soon, and then you're gonna go, what? That person's like there's going to be enough familiar names for you guys that you're gonna go, oh damn, I didn't know they got that guy too, and they got that guy too,
Reyes, these promoters are going to if these fighters have smart management. Let me not say that right. If you have management that is on their game, that is doing their job, I don't know if there's a better word to grab this because I'm trying not to insult nobody, but just to say, if you have management who's on their job, then they have to be having these conversations with these promotional companies, with the PBC, with Golden Boy, with Top Rank, especially the Tamir Smalls of the game, the Jalil Hackett's of the game, right? The Keith Cologne, right? Fighters in the game who are going to ask, can you keep me active?
Yep.
Can you give me 3 to 4 fights a year so I can build up my brand and my value so that I can get into the big fights? If you can't do that, then there may be somebody else in the market right now who's offering that kind of activity for me. And in this point in my career, I need it. I'm not Terrence Crawford. I can't do 1 fight a year. I'm not Shakur. I can't fight 1 to twice a year, or T.O. take a whole year off, or you know, any of these other guys. I'm a guy who not only needs consistent fights to give me money, but also need consistent fights so I can build up a resume that makes me a legitimate fight for these bigger fights.
Right. And by the way, Ryan, you're absolutely right. And when I've been on the Hangout spot, I talk about how awesome Pro Box has been. But I also tell the truth about Pro Box. What's great about Pro Box is they essentially took over what used to be Showbox, which was the funded show by Showtime, right? So I agree. ProBox, you're amazing. Except ProBox, bro, the advertising and marketing behind them, even though they're free, even though they're on YouTube, even though they have Chris Algieri, who used to be an HBO commentator, and Paulie Malignaggi, who used to be a Showtime commentator, even with all of that, Ryan, you tell me what's the most viewed live YouTube event. And if you could tell me that one of them even came close to 1 million, I would be so happy, bro, that 1 million people turned on to YouTube to watch Pro Box Live. What I'm saying is Zuffa Boxing is going to be advertised on the back end of a UFC fight. January 23rd, when you see Zuffa Boxing commercials come out, is going to be just catered to that fan base. Hey, UFC 324 fans.
Box is on Prime?
Well, yes, but you could also watch it on YouTube. You could also watch it on Fubu. ProBox is in a lot of different places. I didn't know that. Like, yeah, you can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on Prime, Amazon. You can watch it on the live versions on Fubo. So that's it. This is exactly my point. Is I love ProBox, and ProBox has been giving us this great fights, but you had to already be like in the boxing circle. Like it's kind of like Clay was saying earlier. He doesn't watch golf, right? Because it's not that golf isn't a great sport, but that he had to understand what golf is, right? So it's the same thing. It's with boxing. Boxing's a beautiful sport, and for us who really love it, we will sit there and watch Pro Box. Me and Clay were watching Pro Box with his brother, and it's one of the best Pro Box we watched.
Yeah,
that was like a month ago.
We didn't call it. We
didn't call it at all. We were just watching it, right? Because we absolutely love it. But they don't have the marketing power of TKO Holdings. In TKO Holdings, who has WWE and the UFC, and now Zuffa Boxing. So that's why, if it may sound like I'm pushing them, then come talk to me again, Two Sizzle, 6 months from now, and tell me what's more popular. All right,
no doubt.
Yeah.
I think all of these platforms, ProBox is definitely part of the conversation as far as giving prospects an opportunity to transfer over into contenders, and contenders become champions. I mean, look at Lamont Roach, right? Lamont Roach is a product of what ProBox can do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Angelo Leo is a product of what ProBox has done, right? There's a lot of great ProBox fighters that then ended up becoming something, right? So if ProBox could somehow get a great TV deal, maybe ProBox could join Peacock or something. You know what I mean? Join one of these apps that really gets pushed. That would be fantastic.
Which is interesting that you said that, Angelo, is that you can also look at the fact that some of the boxers that have been off for a little bit, that were big marquee names in the sport, or title holders that went down and they've been away for a while. They have went to ProBox and they have put themselves back on the map by winning over there. You know what I mean? And getting back into the game. So yes, it's not only that they're just, it almost reminds you of ESPN Wednesday night fights, right? You had some fighters, you know what I mean? It gives you that same atmosphere of what that was. You had great fighters, you had former champions, you had great champions, you had a lot of things going on there, and you got future champions, and you got a great development stable over there. So it kind of gives you that same push, to say the least.
Right. And yeah, and I want ProBox to continue going. I would love them to continue doing well. But if there was an avenue of ProBox fighters that will be maybe a filter for Zuffa Boxing, if ProBox can continue their dates and still be able to pay pretty well, then I'm sure they're going to keep going. Great. So
I kind of feel like, it's like when Jake Paul put on that fight with Mike Tyson on Netflix, right? No matter how much anybody wanted to argue about how diabolical that might have been to see a Jake Paul against his 60-year-old Mike Tyson, who's just, however crazy it was, that fight, that card was the litmus test for Netflix to make their decision on how they were going to move forward boxing. So as a community, we had to jump behind that
right,
and support that, because we understood that boxing was in need of a platform like Netflix to be interested in boxing. We heard that there were potential negotiations with Netflix and PBC and
right.
Netflix with even Top Rank, you know what I mean? And those negotiations didn't come full circle into actual deals. We don't know what drove and why those deals didn't come together, but for one reason or another, Jake Paul was able to get the attention of Netflix, and Netflix was like, we believe in what you're able to deliver to us, not only in this, boutique fight that didn't make any sense, but also in the undercard, a good supporting cast to make us interested in boxing. So in even this fight he had with Anthony Joshua is going to be a testament to Netflix as to whether or not we see more boxing on Netflix or not. If we do see a lot more boxing on Netflix, we have to credit Jake Paul for what he's doing.
Right. Of course.
I think right now Zuffa Boxing getting the deal, $7.7 billion with Paramount, to be a representation of combat sports, that as a community, encouraging Paramount to stay in the boxing business, being that Top Rank right now is floating in the air. We don't know where they are. PBC is not having a good run with Amazon, right? Golden Boy's even in disputes with DAZN right now. DAZN's like, we don't really know if you guys is really our cup of tea right now if you ain't willing to make the biggest fights. Right now, Zuffa, $7.7 billion, the biggest budget ever put behind combat sports in history, is the representation of the sport we love. So I would encourage people to support. When you're hearing fighters like Jalil Hackett, Vito Mielnicki, if it's a rumor, it is a rumor, but even it's
Vlad Fanon, Justin Gloria, like all of these guys.
People who you might support might decide to go over there, and I think it's going to be very important that their fan base and the boxing space that supported them being up and coming prospects go ahead and continue to support them over there in Zuffa and be part of the viewership so that they can become the brands they need to become. And maybe they don't re-sign with Zuffa when their contracts are done. Maybe they come over to one of these other promotional companies that you guys want to celebrate, but at least they'll come back with something they can bring to the table to make the biggest fights that we want to see in boxing.
Right. And it's more jobs, Clay. And that's what we want, right? I mean, if you are in the boxing community, meaning that you have to pay your bills or you're trying to be a professional in any shape or form, whether you're a manager or a coach or a fighter, you want the avenue that can get you the most fights a year, right? And the fact that Zuffa is a part of it now, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. So as a fan, I'm not going to challenge it. I'm going to be like, let's see what happens. Just like with Pro Box, right? Pro Box was a good thing for fighters. Great. Right? We don't have to be subjected anymore to, Ray, I'm in the Game of Thrones right now, but you no longer have to bow your knee to Top Rank or bow your knee to Golden Boy or any of that, because there's so many other. You can go to Winterfell, or you can go to the north or the south of the wall. There's so many different places you can go to now.
Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. You heard?
Exactly.
Shout out to J Pit City, says not everyone ducking the great Debo Dev. Yeah, man, that's a fact. And Barrios might stop him in 9 jabs to hell and body. Yeah, man. I'm telling you that Barrios Ryan Garcia's fight, man, very important to the 147-pound division, man. Super important, man. And I don't know if he's up to task to do the job, man. You like to believe it, and like earlier with Reyes, it was hilarious because I know exactly where he's coming from, where he's just like, oh man, Ryan Garcia is, but it's like, is he? I don't know if he is. You know what I'm saying? That's the only problem. I just don't know if he's the guy we think he's supposed to be. I've been questioning his boxing ever since the Oscar Duarte fight. Like, like what? That doesn't look good at all. And then going in, you know what I'm saying? And the Devin HANEY fight, yeah, bro. I mean, the left hook was touching him. But listen, man, outside of that left hook touching him, Devin was winning. Outside of getting hit.
No, you're right. You're right.
And then Rolly Romero was just like, oh, dude, do you suck now? Are you not good anymore? If you don't get the left hook, is it over with? Is that all you bring to the table is a left hook and maybe a telegraphed right hook? I don't know.
Right. And to your very statement and point, if you were sitting there supporting Jake Paul versus Joshua, then you got to support Ryan Garcia, bro.
We are. I'm definitely supporting. Listen, I want Ryan to win that fight. I'm rooting for Ryan to beat Mario Barrios, bro, because I know what it means.
We got a phone call?
No, that was
me. That was me. I don't know why I keep going off.
It's about that time, though. It's about that time, guys. We're literally at a 2-minute, 45-second mark. We ran a little longer than normally, but it was a good conversation, a good build, man. We got a fight coming up this weekend against Sabril Matias and Dalton Smith. Things going to be a great fight.
We got two fights.
And we got a Geek Gabriel, right?
And Javier Herrera for the WBC 135. So 2 events. One of them is on DAZN in the morning to afternoon. And then the other one, no one will watch until it goes on piracy or YouTube. Dalton Smith.
Damn. No doubt. Yeah, listen, hey, man, I'm keeping it real. I want to remind everybody to hit that like button if you haven't done it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you appreciate the conversation, the talk. Support the channel, man. Hit the subscribe button. The phone number is working now, so feel free to call that number now that we've got it down. I was so happy we had a good run on the phone number today, man. You guys know what it is. It's an ATP Combat Media Show, also known as the Boxing Take. Until the next one, at this point, we out.
We out.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah. Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That mean you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand. Ay, we on overtime, you don't need to understand. Ay, you just show me.